The following is a presentation of Grayson Publishing.
It's the Bi-District Championship with the Van Alstyne Panthers and the Dallas Madison Trojans.
In the pistol is Gallagher, and he'll turn, he'll hand. No, he's going to keep it himself. A great play fake, and he could go. He's got speed. Kiss him goodbye. 20, 15, 10. Nobody's going to catch him.
This week's game is brought to you by Bucksnort Barbecue, Independent Bank, Scoggins Funeral Home, Adams Automotive, GCEC, Attorney Micah Belden, Texoma Barn Company, and Lone Star Food Store.
They fake it to him. He's running straight up the middle. He's got the 10. He's got the 5. He's got the pylon. He's got the touchdown. VA goes up once again, crossing the 60 mark. Throw it down deep. All alone. Drillin Davis catches it at the 20. Strolls in by himself. No one within an acre. Touchdown, Van Alstyne.
Now let's go live to the broadcast booth with Monty Walker and Justin White.
Well, good evening. We are at Royce City ISD Stadium. It's not a big crowd just yet. We are anticipating one. We still have about 30 minutes until kickoff. Two great teams tonight. The Van Alstyne Panthers, who are 7-3, 6-0 in district, ran through District 3A or District 5 in 3A Division 1, and conversely, the Madison Trojans of Dallas ISD are 5-4 on the year. They went 2-3 in what turns out to be a pretty tough district, as we saw last night. Eustis beating Bonham last night, and pretty easily. I wouldn't say easily. Nobody beats Bonham easily, but they strapped on some more points against Bonham. So it looks like District 6 might be tougher than what we had imagined, and Van Alstyne might have to play a full football game here tonight as they match up against District 6 Madison Trojans. We have a coach's show, and we have a spotlight of a Van Alstyne player. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll let you listen to that. We'll be right back right after this.
Texoma Barn Company is a family-owned business right here in Van Alstyne. There's nothing too big or too small, for as they build barn dominiums, shops, garages, arenas, you name it. Owner David Griffin is a national commercial-grade builder with over 30 years of experience. You can visit TexomaBarnCompany.com or call them at 844-500-BARN. They're on Facebook also at Texoma Barn Company. They've completed over 200 projects in 5 years. Let yours be the next. Texoma Barn Company. VA all the way.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com.
You're invited to the one and only Bucksnort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Bucksnort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Bucksnort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
All right, joined with Van Alstyne head coach Michael Miller. A week ago, spectators quickly began to understand something special was going on in that first quarter. Battle of 2 great offenses, 2 great quarterbacks. What was going through your mind in that first quarter?
Hopefully we could play some defense at some point in time. We felt confident going in offensively, obviously, but, defense was going to be the big question mark, and it was evident pretty early that we were going to have to scrounge around and try to put some people in some different spots that just try to get enough spots to be able to let us outscore them.
Well, have you ever been a part of a 141-point game like that?
I can't say that I have. A couple of years ago, actually, when one of our coaches here was a running back, we played Farmersville. I think it was 62-58, something like that. But that's the last time I remember having to score that many points just to win a game.
So, you raised the goal football. Everything went your way in the end, and you celebrated that night. But now it's on to by district, Dallas Madison. Do you fear the common letdown after an emotional game like that?
Absolutely. One of our goals going into this season has been our 11+, which is our motto, to play 11+ football games, which means you got to win this first one to get there. And so I'm hoping that that's going to be in the back of our kids' mind. I mean, our two goals, win a district championship and then to be 11+ football team. So, we're hoping that that'll kind of focus them back in on how important this week is.
And no Sunnyvale. Got them out of the way.
It probably is.
The game's in Royce City. Do you have any trouble on settling on a location?
No, I tell you what, we were really fortunate. I had never actually done this before, but some of the coaches in our district had, and we reserved 2 stadiums, and all 8 teams between the 2 districts had agreed to play either Thursday or Friday at one of those 2 stadiums. And so it worked out really well. Our coaches from this district and the other district were very, very easy to work with on how we were going to sort all that out, and it all worked out, I think, for the best for everybody.
What do you expect to see from Dallas Madison's offense?
Well, they're very athletic. They got a really good quarterback, really good receiver. Once again, not too much different than what we saw last week against Bonham. And obviously, we're going to have to play much better defensively than what we did last week against Bonham to have a chance to beat Madison. But they've got really, really good athletes all across the board.
Their defense, do you think they'll change any philosophies now that they've seen, a couple of games, the last couple of weeks you've put up a ton of points? Do you think they change anything?
Well, it's kind of hard as coaches. I don't know what Coach Gates over there, what his philosophy is, but it's hard, the first round of the playoffs to wholesale change what you do. I mean, you can kind of line up differently. You can, make a few adjustments here or there, but a wholesale change, I don't know that you'll see that. But, they have a lot better athletes across the board, a lot more speed probably than what we're used to seeing on Friday night. So, I don't know that they're any kind of disadvantage just to line up and do what they do.
What's the keys to win and advance the area?
Same as they always are. Obviously we've got to play much better on defense this week. And then, obviously offensively, if we can just keep executing, score when we have the opportunity, limit our penalties, just the basic stuff, I think we'll be okay.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of the Van Alstyne Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. At Adams Automotive and Towing, they do it all, from diesel repair to engines, brakes, routine maintenance, transmissions, exhaust, tire sales, alignment, oil changes, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Adams Automotive can be reached at 903-482-5784 or at adamsautotow.com. They support the Van Alstyne Panthers 24/7. Find them on Facebook at Adams Automotive and Towing, and you can request a quote immediately online. Adams Automotive and Towing are proud supporters of the Van Alstyne Panthers. Have you been in the Lone Star in Van Alstyne lately? If not, here's what you're missing. Me Taco, a build-your-own taco shop where your food is made your way. Texacona Coffee Lodge, serving specialty coffee and baked goods and made on-site daily. Subway, eat fresh. A large dining area with free Wi-Fi. Newly renovated restrooms. Then there's the Lone Star Savers Reward Program, helping the customers save time and money. But the best thing about Lone Star in Van Alstyne? It's in Van Alstyne, where we've been supporting the Panthers for over 20 years.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
All right, now we're joined with Van Alstyne Panther Jr. defensive end Hunter Griffin. Let's talk about you a little bit off the field. I understand you've been doing some youth football coaching. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, well, me and one other teammate on the varsity, Gage Proctor, we've been helping coach 5th and 6th grade youth football since about mid-August when we started, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. And we've been practicing with them, coaching about 2 or 3 days a week, games on Saturdays, and it's really taught us a lot about how, like, our coaches go through with us, but obviously they do a lot more for us than we do for the Pee Wee kids. But it's really put us into their shoes, right, and taught us and gave us a few tricks on how to coach, and so.
So are you running the same offense and defense with those kids as what you guys do?
Well, we try to, so they have an idea, because they're 5th and 6th grade, so they're fixing to go into middle school ball. And so then we're trying to give them an idea of what they're going to get with all of our coaches now whenever they go into middle school ball.
So the big question is, 5th and 6th grade, do they have a Rhett Gallagher?
No, but they like to think that.
All right, well, let's talk about some other things. What else? What other sports are you involved with here at Van Alstyne?
Well, at Van Alstyne, I do football, powerlifting, and rugby, which is currently in Salina, actually, instead of Van Alstyne.
So talk about rugby. When did you get involved? How did you get involved? And how's the Salina thing?
Well, it started out with I was playing soccer and basketball, but then those two kind of fell apart, and I didn't really feel interested. And there was one of the coaches that lives in VA. He's been trying to get me on it for a long time, and since the other two sports fell off, he gave me the idea again. I was like, I might as well just go ahead and go try it. And so then I did, and I fell in love with it.
Well, before we get into Friday night, let's talk a little bit about this, the camps that you've been going to kind of get bigger and stronger. I understand you were going to some camps and during the summer and stuff like that. Talk about that.
Well, the camps and training and stuff, me and a couple other players, we've since last football season, we've been training with a couple pro guys at least once a week or every other week, just in Allen, to try and pick up our skills and try to just stay in shape during the off season also. But we're still doing it during football just to keep our minds right and see if we can pick up on a few other things that would help us in our game.
Now let's talk about the game Friday night. Last Friday with Bonham, huge game. It's one of those where everybody will say that they were there and all of that stuff. 141 points in the game. You had a big sack early on in that football game. Changed the momentum a little bit. Talk about that.
Well, it was kind of just I had a real off night, and so just 4th and 11, they're fixing to go down and score. That really just helped us pull away with the lead.
Well, talk about that game a little bit. And did you going into it? Did you think, man, we got to score 78 tonight?
I was not thinking that at all. Just kind of when we got out there, we were just kind of rolling with the punches, trying to do what we could do. And so just playing the game that we play, we were defense was kind of off a little bit, as you can tell by the 63, 64 points that they scored. But we just did the best we could and pulled out the win.
Well, let's talk about Dallas Madison. You won the district championship. You got to celebrate about that, but I'm sure your coaches said, hey, that's over. Let's talk about next week. What do you think you'll see from them?
Well, they're big up front, and they're pretty fast when they want to be. And so it'll be a tough game. A lot of the weapons that we have, they also have a couple on their side, also on both sides of the ball.
All right, that's junior defensive end Hunter Griffin from the Van Alstyne Panthers. We'll be right back right after this.
I'm attorney Micah Belden. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at shermancriminallawyer.com.
Texoma Barn Company is a family-owned business right here in Van Alstyne. There's nothing too big or too small, for as they build barn dominiums, shops, garages, arenas, you name it. Owner David Griffin is a national commercial-grade builder with over 30 years of experience. You can visit TexomaBarnCompany.com or call them at 844-500-BARN. They're on Facebook also at Texoma Barn Company. They've completed over 200 projects in 5 years. Let yours be the next. Texoma Barn Company. VA all the way.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit ScogginsFuneralHome.com.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Welcome back to Rockwall ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Justin White and Stephen Braswell. And Blake Burnett will be on the sidelines tonight. We will miss... Sweet Caroline's not with us this week. She has the rest of the season off, I guess. She's going to Disney World, and I don't know if we should break the news. It was all over Facebook. She's having a boy.
Yes, I think it's official now.
Congratulations to Caroline out there and her husband. We're going to miss her, that's for sure, up here. But let's talk about these 2 teams. Madison, 5-4 in that tough District 6. Their head coach is Marcus Gates. He's a 1991 graduate of Madison, so a hometown boy. He went to Texas A&M Commerce. He's a former college defensive back standout, named All-Conference and All-American. Gates also had a stint in the CFL, where he played for the San Antonio Texans, Ottawa Rough Riders, and Calgary Stampede. Since returning to teaching and coaching, Gates has received his master's degree in educational leadership. He's a former defensive coordinator, where he was instrumental in coordinating one of the top-ranked defenses in 3A football and helped the Trojans to 10 straight playoff appearances. As a head coach, taking over in 2014, he went 3-8. The following year improved to 8-3. In 2016, 8-3. In 2017, 3-7, a little down year a year ago, but having a winning record right now. He replaced Dwayne Johnson in that 2014 season. On the flip side, the Van Alstyne Panthers, Michael Miller has been in place for 10 years now here for the Panthers. 70 actually, and 40 after the win a week ago, his 70th win over Bonham. What a classic that was. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. He replaced Brian Polk in 2009 as the head coach and athletic director. And in that 2009 season, lost to Salina in the playoffs after a 10-1 season. Just an outstanding initial first season as a head coach. And then 8-3, 9-4, 1-9, which is a rarity. Then Van Alstyne missed the playoffs in 2012, and then 7-5 and 7-3, missed the playoffs with a 7-3 record, and then 6-5, 7-4, 8-3, and 7-3 now. So the Van Alstyne Panthers have had quite the tradition going back for 10 years, and that stability is important. So let's look at the district. Van Alstyne, the district winner, as they beat Bonham a week ago. What was that score, Justin?
78-63.
141 points.
Wow.
That was a fun game to get to do. Bonham finished second in the district. They lost last night to Eustis, however. Pottsboro finished 4-2. Lone Oak 3-3. Rains 2-4. Commerce 1-5, and Howe 0-6. And then in District 6, you had Kemp, the undefeated district champs, at 5-0. Malakoff 4-1. Eustis 3-2. Madison 2-3. A+ Academy 1-4, and Live Oak 0-5. So that's your District 5 and District 6. Now, a week ago, Justin, the Van Alstyne Panthers had quite the numbers. And the running back, Carroll, had 20 carries for 251 yards. But Gallagher, 12 carries, 186 yards, and 6 touchdowns.
6 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns. That's 9 total touchdowns for a game.
Gallagher was absolutely amazing a week ago and has been amazing throughout the entire season. Passing last week, 5 out of 12, 159 yards, 1 interception, and 3 touchdowns. And doing the stats a week ago was Blake Burnett, and he's down on the sidelines right now. Blake, he's going to get a little bit of a rest tonight from your smoking pen a week ago. Talk about what you see down there on the sidelines. What's going on, Blake?
I see a very athletic Madison team down here. Van Alstyne is yet to make way from the tunnel, but this Madison team looks like they have a lot of team speed, kind of like Bonham did, and Van Alstyne played great against that last week, and scoring and scoring and scoring. Hopefully this game has a little more defense tonight.
Hey, let's talk about the field conditions. You're down there on the sideline. What's the field look like? What's the wind look like? What's the weather? Give us the color of it down there.
There's a slight wind down here tonight. The field conditions are great, a nice turf surface for us tonight, and it might impact downhill runners. They won't have the advantage they would on a grass field tonight.
All right, there you hear it from Blake Burnett and his debut for the sidelines. Nice job.
And he has lucked out. The weather is not terrible out there as compared to the last few weeks. Caroline's had to endure the 40-degree temperatures, the wind, the rain, and Blake gets Blake gets a nice 59 degrees.
Yeah, that's really nice. The officials tonight out of the Dallas chapter referee Richard Bonner, the umpire Braylon Morrison, the head line judge is Josh Brennerman. The line judge is Brent Cole, and the back judge is Tony Benson. Again, they're out of the Dallas chapter, and we'll have the school songs here in just a moment. We're going to take a quick timeout. Blake Burnett will have the coin toss, so we won't let you miss that. We'll be right back right after this timeout.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of the Van Alstyne Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Royce City ISD Stadium. Let's go over the starting lineups for tonight's game. We'll start with Dallas Madison. Split out wide. They call him Megatron, and you'll know why. If you were to see this young man, he looks like Megatron. Cedric Pelham, 6'1", 180, and a junior, and he jumps out of the gym to catch footballs. He'll be flanked by Marcus Coben-Hill. And the quarterback tonight, Jalen Thibodeau, he's an athlete, 5'9", 175, one of the very few non-seniors in the starting lineup. And Darius Kinney will be the running back who is right next to him. In the slot on the other side, Dadrian Marshall. And split out wide to the right is Jacoby Dorsey. Up front for Dallas Madison, Devorian Rogers, Tonio Cherry, Alex Bowman, Ruben Bowman, Aviante Wheeler. Now, that front line goes 255, 260, 250, 170, and 250. A lot of beef up front. Facing that offense will be Van Alstyne's defense. The starting right defensive end is Hunter Griffin. The tackles are Cade Morgan and Matthew Mitchell, and the strong side defensive end is Paul O'Laughlin. The cornerbacks, Cam Montgomery and Drellin Davis. The linebackers, Austin Moore, Aaron Palacio, Zach Monsier, Sam Rimpel, and Gage Proctor, who is the quarterback on defense. And here come the Van Alstyne Panthers through their tunnel. On offense for the Panthers, they're led by their quarterback, Rhett Gallagher, 1,437 yards through the air, 656 on the ground. He averages almost 9 yards a carry. He'll have split out wide to the left, Dylan Porter, who has 521 yards, it's 321 rather. Sam Rimpel in the slot, Nathan Cuthbertson on the other slot, and Drellin Davis split out wide right with his 8 touchdowns receiving and 476 yards. Up front, Jacob Taylor, Sawyer Callies, Noel Tormos, Maxwell Nazarko, and Jake Loganbill. On the defense, well, we actually have the captains on the field. We'll let you listen to that right now.
Number 6 is Marcus Coben-Hill. Number 8 is going to be Darius Kinney. And number 50 is Calvin Barron. And the captains for Van Alstyne is Rhett Gallagher, number 2. Number 12 is going to be Gage Proctor.
Well, Van Alstyne, it was hard to hear there, but Van Alstyne won the toss. They elected to defer to the second half. And so Van Alstyne will be moving from our left to right from our vantage point, and Madison from right to left. Now Madison comes in with all white jerseys, white bottoms, white tops, white helmets, you name it, white socks. They're all white tonight. The Van Alstyne Panthers in all blue. Blue pants, blue jerseys, well, white helmets, and white sleeves on those blue jerseys. We're just about ready for the national anthem as the players turn and face the flag, and we're just about ready for that. The starting defense, if I can pile through that real quickly before so, the front line, Cabron Cox, Eric Jefferson, Ahmad Freeman, Mikael Collins, and Darius Kinney. The cornerbacks, Tyron Moore and Dakari Lee. We'll get right back to that, as I believe we're ready for the anthem. Well, we have a really good crowd from one side, and I don't know that I've ever seen this, bless their hearts. There may be 3 people over there on Dallas Madison.
Yeah, 3 parents, looks like 3 adults from what it looks like right now. Maybe they're like me, got stuck in the construction and missed the exit. on the way in. So.
Well, let's hope they do have some fans show up. Their band is here, and there are the flag girls are spread out throughout the stands. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them in kind of a V formation in the very middle, taking up the entire way on the far side. Bless their hearts, they just don't have traveling fans. Van Alstyne did travel pretty well here tonight. It's a big stadium, a lot of seats to fill, chairbacks, and they have filled up maybe the bottom third, maybe the bottom half of the chairbacks in the middle. And a pretty nice crowd as we have Van Alstyne kicking off to start this football game. Moving left to right, Austin Moore is going to tee it off. Now, obviously, they run some shenanigans with the kickoff, where sometimes Beckham will kick it off, sometimes it will be Austin Moore, and sometimes it'll be Danny Kern. And we'll see who kicks this one away. And they're going to fake the quail onside and move back in regular kickoff formation. Austin Moore stands 4 yards away with his hand in the air, and he is going to kick a high pooch kick to the far side at about the 33, dropped by an up man, and it goes out of bounds. And Dallas Madison will start this football game moving right to left from somewhere around their 30-yard line, Justin.
Yeah, that was a kickoff. I was waiting for them to see what kind of tricks they would pull out there, and they just did a pooch kick, kind of made it a little bit difficult for the up man to catch it over his shoulder, dropped it, but able to recover. Unlike Bonham had last week, having trouble taking care of the kickoff. But Madison has decent field position starting at about their 30 or 29-yard line.
Yeah, they'll start at their own 29 in all white on the far hash, moving right to left with their quarterback, Thibodeau. So Jalen Thibodeau will be in the shotgun, and it's a long way down there, so I'm going to apologize if we miscall someone initially. He'll move his running back over to his left side, and that's Kenny, man in motion, and getting the hand from one side to the other, and that's Megatron Pelham, and right there to corral him right at the line of scrimmage is a big blue gang of Van Alstyne Panthers, which will basically set up I guess he gets back to the line of scrimmage. I thought it was going to be a loss.
Yeah, it was a jet sweep there around the left side, and they got some speed on this Madison side. Hopefully, I know Van Alstyne's got to be prepared for that.
So Thibodeau goes back in shotgun formation, 2 receivers to either side, and this will be a handoff to Kenny up the middle, and he squeezes through for about 4, maybe 5 yards to the 33-yard line.
They like to pass the ball a lot, but they will run it on occasion here. A draw up the middle there to Kenny, and a little short gain.
So it'll bring up a quick 3rd down. And I'm going to need my binoculars tonight.
I'm about to say we're way up in the heavens. We got a good spot, but we're still way up here.
So Thibodeau in shotgun with Kenny to his left, and he wants to throw. Screen pass left side. It's going to be caught and making a move. Not enough for a first down, but on the reception for the Dallas Madison Trojans is Jaylene Record. But again, they'll probably have to punt this one away deep in their own territory.
Well, it's a quick pass out to Record, and Record, they just gave him a chance to get an open space and see if he can use his athleticism to get the first down. He got close to it, just a yard short, though.
About 4 yards on the pass and catch, and now going back to punt is Madison. And it'll be a pretty high punt since Drillin Davis, or that's Cuthbertson, back to the 24. He makes a move up to the left hash across the 40 to the 43-yard line. And that's where the Van Alstyne Panthers will set up shop. That was Drillin Davis on the return.
Now this Panther offense coming out, we already talked about Gallagher, but one thing I noticed, Monty, from the stats was that Jake Carroll, you talked about earlier, had 240 yards of rushing and no touchdowns. Usually with 200-plus yards of rushing, you would think he'd have at least 1 or 2 touchdowns, but no touchdowns last week.
And this will be Gallagher keeping it on the right side. He's got a little room, squiggles his way past the 45 to the 47-yard line. A busted play, and Gallagher makes something out of nothing.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to pitch out there, and there was nobody to pitch to. And luckily for the Panthers, they have a very athletic quarterback in Gallagher who was able to make, as you said, something out of nothing, a little 3-4 yard gain.
So he'll be in the backfield with 2 backs with him. And he'll hand off to Carroll over left guard. And Carroll will pound his way across midfield to the 49. And some little extracurricular down here at the bottom, but no flags. Drellin Davis. And now Van Alstyne quickly wants to snap the ball on the other side of the field. Hand off, Carroll again, right side, banging over a defender, banging across the 45 to the 44-yard line, and banging past the first down marker.
Good job there by Carroll. Went behind his right tackle there on that right side, Loganville, and able to push for an extra couple of yards for the first down.
Van Alstyne moving quickly, a new set of downs. Gallagher wants to throw for the first time tonight. Flush down to the pocket, now just heaves it, and it heaves it out of bounds, and it'll be incomplete. He had pressure coming from the left side of the defensive end, and I believe that was Kinney coming off the edge, the defensive end. Darius Kinney, 6 foot 200, was right in his face.
Yeah, Kinney was able to get off his block there, and Gallagher had some time, was looking downfield. Good coverage there by the Trojans. And Kinney kind of made him speed that throw up and make him throw it away.
So Gallagher goes in the gun. It is 2nd down and 10, and he's going to hand to Carroll. Going around the left edge, he cuts it up at the 45. And he's going to be slung down after maybe a yard gain. And he's going to be brought down by the linebacker Marcus Coben-Hill, 5'9", 170, and a senior. Third down and 9 coming up.
Usually you see Carroll running between the tackles. On that one, they were trying to run him outside, and he realized he was caught dead to right going outside, trying to cut it back inside. And good job there by the Trojans to stay in their lanes and push him back inside and make the yardage minimal. 3rd down and 9, 3rd down and 8 for Panthers.
Gallagher sends Barnes out of the backfield in slot. Gallagher wants to run for it. He's got room. He's got a first down, and he's still going to the 32-yard line. Just a quarterback draw. Sent everybody out. It was all him all alone, and he snuck it up the middle.
They're moving quick again here.
12 yards on the run for Gallagher, and he goes back in the pistol, rather, and this is Barnes who stands beside him, or behind him, rather. Barnes was pinned to be the starting running back, but a lot of injuries earlier in the year, which allowed others to come through. This is Gallagher on the keeper around the right edge. Now he has to cut it. He's in trouble, and he's going to only gain a few yards out of it, but he's lucky to do that because he had all kinds of pressure coming from the left side of the defense.
Faked the handoff, ran around the right side, and I think Gallagher realized really quickly that this Trojan defense is a lot faster than Bonham.
Let's check down with Blake Burnett. What do you got? We're going to come back to Blake. 7:41 on the clock here in the first. Gallagher toss right side. I believe that's Barnes. Got a lot of room to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Diving over the pylon. He's in. Touchdown, Van Alstyne.
A pitch out to the right side. He found a lane there. Nobody touched him until he was about 15, 20 yards down the field. And Van Alstyne able to draw first blood here on the pitch out to Barnes.
Barnes on the 28-yard run. And the swinging gate PAT. We'll see what happens here. They don't mind running it for 2. And they're going to snap it, and there it is going to go for 2. And apparently on that far side, on that swinging gate formation, they're in. 2-point conversion for the Van Alstyne Panthers, and they lead 8-0 as Rimpel scores the PAT. We'll be right back right after this.
At Adams Automotive and Towing, they do it all, from diesel repair to engines, brakes, routine maintenance, transmissions, exhaust, tire sales, alignment, oil changes, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Adams Automotive can be reached at 903-482-5784 or at adamsautotow.com. They support the Van Alstyne Panthers 24/7. Find them on Facebook at Adams Automotive and Towing, and you can request a quote immediately online. Adams Automotive and Towing are proud supporters of the Van Alstyne Panthers. Have you been in the Lone Star in Van Alstyne lately? If not, here's what you're missing. Me Taco, a build-your-own taco shop where your food is made your way. Texacona Coffee Lodge, serving specialty coffee and baked goods and made on-site daily. Sub Van Alstyne? It's in Van Alstyne, where we've been supporting the Panthers for over 20 years.
Welcome back to Royce City ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Justin White, Stephen Braswell, and Blake Burnett. Tonight, it's Texas high school football. And a good one so far, 8-0. Van Alstyne in the lead over Dallas Madison. And Moore set to kick this one away. 4 yards deep. It's a high kick. Middle of the field, going to be taken at about the 15-yard line. A fight for it, but a grab coming inside and a lot of room. The Darian Scholl
to account for.
Well, Blake Burnett in his first sideline report talked about how athletic they looked down on the field in pregame. He was right. 2 receivers either side as Thibodeau is in the gun. About 5 yards deep from the line of scrimmage. They fake the hand, and they're going deep. Deep down in the end zone, and that's going to be caught for, is it incomplete? Dropped. And I think that was Stewart. I apologize. I think that was Pelham, Cedric Pelham.
Yeah, Pelham got behind the coverage there and just Thibodeau put it right where he needed to put it needed to be, and Pelham just couldn't bring it in. It was a drop pass by Pelham. Easy 6 points it could have been.
Well, our apologies. Stephen Braswell said that was Record on the drop. I thought Pelham went in motion. They faked the hand to him.
I'm sorry, Record, yes.
And it was Record who made the drop in the end zone. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Man in motion is Marshall. They hand it off to Kenny up the middle, and he's going to gain about 3 yards, close to the 30 at the 31-yard line.
Man, they're gonna wish they had that pass back, that touchdown drop there, and we see the arm of Thibodeau and what he can do. He can throw it long if he needs to, and can be pretty accurate with it.
Yeah, that is Hunter Griffin on the tackle for the Van Alstyne Panthers. So the 3-yard gain gives us 3rd and 7 with 6:44 left to go here in quarter number 1. Madison moving right to left and all white as Thibodeau is in the gun. Man in motion is Marshall. They give it to him in a fumble, and I guess he picked it back up.
Somehow that bounced right back up to him. He dropped it, and it just bounced right back up into it.
Boy, that was tough flag on the play, but there's a young man from Madison who has bright yellow socks. That's going to be fun all night. So 4th down coming up for Dallas Madison, 4th and 8, but they're at the Van Alstyne 32-yard line. So what do you do here, Justin?
This is, I think it's 4-down territory right here, and maybe try to slant across the middle here to Record or Pelham.
Trips bunch to the right, just off tackle. Thibodeau has whistles blow before this one can get underway. It could have been delay a game.
In fact, I think it's a timeout by Madison.
Well, we're going to take one real quick, too. We'll be right back right after this timeout.
At Adams Automotive and Towing, they do it all, from diesel repair to engines, brakes, routine maintenance, transmissions, exhaust, tire sales, alignment, oil changes, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Adams Automotive can be reached at 903-482-5784 or at adamsautotow.com. They support the Van Alstyne Panthers 24/7. Find them on Facebook at Adams Automotive and Towing, and you can request a quote immediately online. Adams Automotive and Towing are proud supporters of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Well, it's 4th down and 8. They got the timeout, and we requested from the officials 60-second timeouts. I'm not sure we're going to get that. That was about 30 right there. Thibodeau back in the gun. 3 receivers right, 1 to the near side, and he drops back 3 steps, looking near side, wanting to throw. Steps up in the pocket, fires deep down the field. It's going to be incomplete. Overshot his wide receiver that he was trying to hit. On the near side was Jacoby Dorsey, and it falls incomplete. And with 5:41 on the quarter number 1, Van Alstyne with an 8-0 lead will take over at their own 32-yard line.
Thibodeau had some nice protection there in the pocket, had time to throw. There's just good coverage downfield. He could have probably ran that for maybe a 1st down.
So here in a moment, we'll check down with Blake Burnett to see what kind of vantage point he has down there. 5:41 on the clock in the gun, or in the pistol rather, as Gallagher sends a man in motion from left to right, and that is Montgomery, and he'll hand off right tackle, and that is Carroll, who had nowhere to go. As a matter of fact, he's going to lose some yardage back to the 29. Let's check down with Blake Burnett. Well, Blake, maybe we need to get Blake some new batteries down there, perhaps. Yep. So it's 2nd down and 13 after the loss of 3 by Carroll. And Gallagher's all alone in the shotgun, and he's going to fake the hand. He's going to run it over left tackle, trying to bounce outside. And he has about 3, has about 4, has about 5 up to the 34-yard line.
Gallagher's going to have to take it in his own hands here on this drive. With a little quarterback sneak around the left side, faked it to the running back and took it around, tried to get his speed there and was able to get a few yards. Going to bring up a third and about 6, 3rd and 7 situation.
So that was a pretty good job of Gallagher. Now, Gallagher's not going to be able to just run wild as he did a week ago. There's just too much speed on the defense for Dallas Madison. 4:25 on the clock. Gallagher rolls around, wants to throw the ball deep down the field. He's got a man in and out of the hands of Drellin. Is that Drellin David? No, that is not. That's Cam Montgomery. It falls incomplete, and apparently it's punt time, but that was a first down. It was right in his hands. It just went straight out of his hands.
Yeah, that was a good pass. Maybe just a tad high, but that hit him right in the hands. Montgomery's got to come down with it. That would have been a first down. So both teams on their last drives here have dropped passes, one for a touchdown for Madison and one for a first down there for Van Alstyne.
So back deep to return the kick is Marshall, and the punt is away. It's a pretty good one by Gallagher, and it'll roll dead at the 31-yard line. And I believe that was Palacio who killed it at the 31.
So we'll see what Jalen Thibodeau here in this third drive. We've seen his arm. We've seen the arm strength. He can throw it. Let's see if we haven't seen a lot of intermediate throws. See if he can his accuracy.
First down and 10 for Dallas Madison. Moving right to left still here in quarter number 1. 8-0. Van Alstyne in the lead from their own 30-yard line. Right on the 30. And Thibodeau is going to hand off to Kinney over right tackle. He bounces it out a little bit. Going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage by Austin Moore, one of the leading tacklers by the Van Alstyne Panthers. The linebacker does a great job.
Austin Moore, who had one of his best games of the season last week, 11 tackles, had an interception, ran a couple of kickoffs back for a touchdown. So great game by Austin Moore last week, and continuing that here tonight.
It's hard. You do all of that, and you get overshadowed by your quarterback.
Yeah.
Nine touchdowns.
How can you beat that?
So it's second down and 10 with 3:35 on the first quarter clock. Thibodeau in the gun from their own 30. And he drops back 3 steps, looks down the middle, firing it deep, and it's going to be incomplete. Some feet got tangled up, but no flags down. It was, I believe that was Dorsey, the intended receiver.
Yep. It seems like what we're seeing here right now. Do we have a flag? I think we have a flag down here by the numbers on our Van Alstyne side. I hope that a flag or a sock. I think that's a flag.
Blake, can you hear us?
Yes, that was a flag on Madison, illegal man downfield.
Hey, there we
There we go. There's Blake.
He's connected. We have to get him some batteries down there. Illegal man downfield, so that'll push it back. It's declined, however, Stephen Braswell tells us. So school board says 3rd and 10. We'll go with that. 30-yard line for Dallas Madison. Right to left. They're taking their time here.
And so Coach Miller here kind of betting on his defense here, declining that penalty, 3rd and 10. He feels like he can get a stop here.
Well, I see 13 fans on the far side in the middle. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9. Hey, we got about 20 fans for Madison now.
Either way, that's not a good sign when you have to count, when you can count your fans.
Yeah, it's not good. Bless their hearts. Thibodeau in the gun on 3rd and 10. Rolls out near side, looking to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Fires across, incomplete. He has a cannon, but he misshot that cannon at the 40-yard line, trying to find his receiver there, which was Rivers. And it falls incomplete. 4th down coming up. I said Rivers, that's Record.
Yeah, he rolled to his left there and found Record. And, yeah, he's got a howitzer there for an arm. I mean, he can really just sling it there, but just a little off target. And, again, we've seen a couple of times where he's had opportunities to run the ball, but he's decided to throw it instead.
So Van Alstyne's about to get the ball back here. There's 3:15 on the clock. The punt is a low line drive kick, barely over the line of scrimmage, over the lineman. It's going to bounce to the 27-yard line, picked up by Davis, coming near side, and it's going to be slinging out of a tackle up to the 45-yard line, just shy of midfield, and that's where Van Alstyne will take over First and 10 from their own 45, 3:03 on the clock.
On the last drive here with Van Alstyne, we didn't see as much of Barnes and Carroll running the ball. It was mostly Gallagher, which is not a bad option there to use Gallagher in the run game. But
well, Carroll had 251 yards a week ago. Just ran wild. We'll see what happens tonight here, as this will be a toss near side. That is Carroll. That's Barnes, rather, and he bangs over a couple of defenders past the 45 on his way to the 47-yard line.
Have him in the pistol formation, pitching out to the right side, and just let him use. Both Carroll and Barnes are kind of the same type of runners. Not a lot of speed. They're pretty fast, but not just blazing speed. But good balance of power and speed with them.
Clock still rolling at 2:35. It's second down and 7 as the play comes in for Van Alstyne. Gallagher in the pistol, and he'll hand off straight up the middle, and that is Barnes, close to a first down as he crosses midfield to the 47-yard line.
Just a draw straight up the middle. He was right. They were lined up on the hash marks, and he pretty much just went right along the hash marks there.
So third down and 2. Gallagher, toss right side. Barnes again, keeping it on the ground, chugging for more yardage, and he's got the first down. He's finally wrestled out of bounds, but he crosses the 45 to the 43-yard line, so a pickup of about 4.
Again, a pitch out to that right side there, and able to just some hard-earned yards to get the first down.
Carroll into the game on first and 10 with 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Van Alstyne up 8-0. From the pistol, Gallagher handoff Carroll right up the middle, and he's finally brought down after about a 4-yard gain to the 39-yard line.
Good job there by Darius Kinney playing at linebacker, waiting for Carroll to come up the middle, and made a nice little shoestring tackle right at the feet of Jake Carroll.
So ball at the 39. Clock still rolling at 1:41. The players are looking over at the sidelines for the offensive play. Second down and 6. They'll give him 4. And a man goes in motion. Cuthbertson out of the backfield. This is going to be Gallagher, and he'll hand off straight up the middle, and that's Carroll again, who has nice yardage running right behind his shoulder pads. Going to be close to a first down, but a yard short after a 5-yard gain.
Carroll, we talked about the 200-plus yards he had last week. That put him over 1,000 yards rushing for the season, 1,202 to be exact now.
Third down and 1 as we reach the minute mark. Van Alstyne gets the play. They're ready. Pistol formation. Gallagher sends a man in motion from left to right as Cuthbertson. And Gallagher's going to hand off again, right side. Again, that's Carroll. And again, he's banged down after a first down to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, Gallagher's just having to take. They're kind of taking what the defense is giving them, and Gallagher's not having to make a lot of plays. It's like they planned for Gallagher and his wheels and his running ability, and they're just gashing him with the running attack of Barnes and Carroll.
Gallagher, handoff. Again, Carroll, a big seam up the middle, and he dives over the top for the 15-yard line. And a first down.
Again, Carroll right up the middle there, just right along the hash marks, right behind his center, and upended there after about 10, 12 yards downfield. Another first down for the Panthers. They're starting to get a little rhythm going.
Did he jump for that? Was that Bo Jackson, or did he just get into
or Zeke Elliott from last week?
Yeah. Man alive, that was athleticism. Here in a moment, we'll check down with Blake Burnett. I think they are. Let's talk to Blake. What about that move right there?
He did hurdle a man, and then he got his legs taken out from under and ended up on top of the guy that made the tackle. It was a great play by number 30.
All right, let's take a quick timeout. That's the end of the first quarter, and the Van Alstyne Panthers won that quarter. We'll be right back right after this.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
I'm attorney Micah Belden. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at shermancriminallawyer.com.
Hey, we want to thank all the listeners out there in Radio Land tonight. KXEZ 92.1 picking up the feed for the Van Alstyne Panthers, and the Dallas Madison Trojans 92.1 picking it up. So thank you very much. It's now 1st and 10 with a new set of downs for Van Alstyne as they move right to left now. Turn it around. Gallagher wants to throw. Now he's going to tuck it and run straight up the middle. He's got the 10. He's got the 5. Stick that one in the end zone. Touchdown, Van Alstyne.
Boy, Gallagher looked like he had new life there, like he was shot out of a can and got the snap. Looked like he was going to throw for like a split second, and then just the hole opened up, and he was off to the races there for about a 12-yard run there.
15-yard run for Rhett Gallagher, and now it's 14-0 awaiting this PAT. And again, another sling to Rempel, and he's in on a 2-point conversion and bumping on up 16-0, 11:55 left to go in quarter number 2. We'll be right back right after this.
Texoma Barn Company is a family-owned business right here in Van Alstyne. There's nothing too big or too small, for as they build barn dominiums, shops, garages, arenas, you name it. Owner David Griffin is a national commercial-grade builder with over 30 years of experience. You can visit TexomaBarnCompany.com or call them at 844-500-BARN. They're on Facebook also at Texoma Barn Company. They've completed over 200 projects in 5 years. Let yours be the next. Texoma Barn Company, VA all the way.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
8 plays and 55 yards is what it took for the Panthers to get on the board. And we'll update the scoreboard for you as it's 16-0 here in quarter number 2. And the Van Alstyne Panthers fake the quail onside, and they'll dart back in normal kickoff formation. Austin Moore 4 yards away, and he will run to the football, and a high kick middle of the field going to be taken at the 12-yard line, going on the far side. And slung out and down his record. Finally gang tackled by a bunch of blue jerseys. They'll give him forward progress to the 26.
And it looks like, so 11:47 to go here in the second quarter. 16-0 Van Alstyne leading. So this is kind of an important possession for the Trojans.
After this play, we'll give you station identification at the top of the hour as the Dallas Madison Trojans come to the line of scrimmage. 11:47 on the clock from their own 26-yard line. Moving left to right now are the white jerseys of the Trojans. Kenny stands to the right of Thibodeau, who's going to run it himself straight up the middle. He runs right in the back of Kenny, and we'll take a quick timeout. You're listening to Texas High School Football on Grayson Publishing, LLC. Second down and 9 coming up. Give him 1 yard. Thibodeau on the run. 11-16 and rolling here. Thibodeau thought about throwing the screen pass. Now he's going to tuck it. He's going to run out of bounds after about 3 yards. Just shy of the 30 at the 29-yard line. Stopping the clock at 11:07.
I think it's the first time we've seen that play and the previous play where we've seen the legs of Thibodeau and what he can do on the ground without throwing the ball.
He can run the football. There is no question.
So he's a true dual threat kind of quarterback. So
even wearing the number 7, which is kind of known to be that dual threat type of Randall Cunningham type quarterback. Mike Vick. Is that 2? That's 2. I'm sorry. It's one of those things way up here you can't. Yeah. Well, 2 that's not really a mobile quarterback, right?
This is Johnny Manziel, I guess.
Thibodeau throwing it down the field, and he's got his man. It's going to be caught for a first down And that is Pelham on the catch. They call him Megatron. It's 1st and 10, and they hustle to the line of scrimmage up to the 50-yard line. First down of the night for the Trojans. On the move, and they hand off to Kenny straight up the middle. He's hit hard and banged down after about 2 yards on the Van Alstyne side of the field at the 48-yard line. And that's going to be
Caden Morgan in on the tackle there for the Panthers. Yeah, they try to rush the line after a good slant across the middle there by Thibodeau.
So it's 2nd down and 8. And Thibodeau looks near the far side, and he's got his man. It's going to be caught after 6-7 yards. And again, that's Pelham on the catch. Knocked out of bounds by Austin Moore, stops the clock at 10:27.
So they like to do that, get that out to the receivers in single coverage, and just let them use their athleticism, use their speed to see if they can make some moves. A good tackle there by the Panthers on the outside.
Yeah, Austin Moore on the stop. And for the first time tonight, we're seeing life from Dallas Madison's offense.
And they need it down 16-0.
Taking their time this time, not in a hurry here. They have Marshall on the near slot, Record right next to him. And beside him is Dorsey split out wide. Thibodeau's going to run it straight up the middle, bouncing out of tackles. Got the first down. I think forward progress is going to push him past the first down marker, which was at the 40. They'll give him the 39 and a first down.
Got the snap and just looked like he was going to throw it for just a split second, kind of like Gallagher did on the touchdown drive, and then ran up the middle and got the first down.
So quickly up on the line of scrimmage, Thibodeau sends Kenny to the right side of him. He's in shotgun formation, and he's going to hand off to Kenny, trying to bounce it out near side. All the way down the line of scrimmage, and finally gang tackled by Drellin Davis and a couple of others. No gain on the play and maybe even a loss.
Trying to get around that corner, but good job by Drellin Davis, kind of staying in his lane and waiting there for Kenny to come around that corner and able to wrap up and make a good tackle.
So a yard loss will back it up to the 40, and it will be 2nd down and 11.
I mean, this Madison team is capable of scoring. They come in averaging 32 points a game, have scored over 40 points 3 times this season, so they're capable of putting the ball in the end zone.
9:33 on the clock. Thibodeau from the gun, fakes down the field, looking down the field, flushed down to the pocket, still wants to throw down the field. Now he's scrambling for his life, coming near side, right by the Van Alstyne bench, pumps and still runs to the 35-yard line. All of that in a gain of 5 yards.
That was some pretty good athleticism there by Thibodeau, and good coverage downfield by Van Alstyne to stay with their man in coverage. So good job by them, and all that running around, as you said, by Thibodeau, only getting to just a few yards on the play, so 3rd down and 6 for them.
9th play of the drive coming up. Blake Burnett, what do you got for us down there? How's that mood of the Van Alstyne Panthers?
That was a busted play there, and the quarterback just made something happen. The VA Panther D-line is not getting much pressure. They need to get some pressure on this quarterback to make him get happy feet or something.
All right, so it's 3rd and 6, 9:15 on the clock here in quarter number 2. Thibodeau throws a screen pass near side, caught by Marshall, brought down immediately by Austin Moore. A great play by the linebacker.
Good job there by Moore. They brought an extra linebacker in there to blitz, but Thibodeau got it out there quickly, got it to the receiver, but good job there by Moore to take him down. Good tackling there by Moore, and so now you got a decision here by Coach Gates at the 36-yard line of the Panthers. 8:53 to go in the first half. You're down 16-0, and they may punt.
Yeah, they're switching teams in and out, so apparently the punt team's coming in from the 36-yard line, trying to pin Van Alstyne deep here. 8:38 rolling on the clock, quarter number 2. The Panthers of Van Alstyne up 16-0. And the punt is a low, wobbly kick, going to bounce at the 18 toward the corner, and that would have bounced all the way to about the 2-yard line, but it was killed at the 8 or 9. And it was Marshall who killed it. That ball, if he could have outran the ball, and he could have, that ball would have stopped either at the 2, or he could have killed it at the 2, or it would have gone out of bounds at the 2.
That's 6 yards of field position they'll lose.
Those are hidden yardage.
Right there, yes. Bill Parcells, right?
That's right. Hidden yardage. So after the punt, VA will take it with 8:24 at their 10-yard line. And coming near side is Gallagher. That's Moore, rather, to the 20, to the 25. Finally brought down after a big, nice run to the 33-yard line.
A jet sweep here. We've been seeing mostly Carroll, Barnes, and Gallagher But Moore wanted in on the party, and we see some of his speed that we saw last week on the kickoff returns on that jet sweep around. Gets them a little bit more breathing room out to the 35-yard line.
23-yard run by Moore, 8:13 on the clock. And quickly, the Van Alstyne Panthers say, hey, you can put us at the 8, you can put us at the 10, you can put us at the 2. It doesn't matter. We're going to run straight up the field. That's what they've done so far tonight. That's what they've really done the past several weeks. So Gallagher in the gun, low snap, digs it out, handoff Carroll, right side. No, he's going to keep it. What a great play fake, near side 50. And down at the 46-yard line, Gallagher with a tremendous play fake.
Yeah, faked everybody out there and went around that left side, made some MS, and then good job by Randy Hudson, who was the last man of defense, able to knock him down and bring him down at 45-yard line into Trojan territory now.
It was Randy Hudson on the stop for Madison, and a big stop that was, as Gallagher, as you know, can go from at any point in the field. Ball at the 45, inside Madison territory. Gallagher digs it out, handoff Carroll. This time he does, and he runs for 6 yards to the 39-yard line. They'll spot it at the 40, so give him 5.
Good behind that right guard, Maxwell Nazarko, who was able to give him a good block and give him a hole there for a nice good 6-yard gain.
Well, there's going to be a flag on the play, but apparently it may be against Madison, as Rhett Gallagher is clapping his hands. Our spotter, Stephen Braswell, says personal foul, face mask against Dallas Madison, and that apparently is the call because the officials are moving the ball on up to the 25-yard line.
Again, you can't give the Panthers any more help than that. You're already down 16-0. They get a big run, and you add 15 onto that.
Gallagher and Carroll together, waiting on the play. Dylan Porter split out wide to the near side. Gallagher handoff Carroll. He's got the 25, he's got the 20, and he's wrestled down at the 18-yard line. A nice run that Carroll just keeps pounding around those edges and up the middle.
And one thing I noticed, this offensive line for Van Alstyne is starting to kind of instill their will and get a good push there off the ball. 7
yards for Carroll as we hit the 6:40 mark here in quarter number 2. We're not talking about 78 points tonight.
No.
But it's not going to take 78, I don't think, as it did against Bonham. But it is 2nd down and 3. 2 men in the backfield, along with Gallagher. It's an offset eye from the pistol. And it's going to be a handoff, left side. I believe that may be Barnes, or is it Carroll again? It is Carroll, and he picks up the first down at the 15-yard line.
Cabron Fox, the junior linebacker, in on the tackle there for the Trojans there on the draw at the middle. Got a first down, another set of downs for the Panthers as they're down inside the red zone here.
So Porter is split out wide to the near side. Cuthbertson is with him in the slot. Split out wide on the far side, Drellin Davis. 2 men in the backfield, and Gallagher's going to hand off to Carroll again, and again he'll pick up yardage, about 4 to the 11-yard line.
And Panthers are doing a good job here by they're running the ball. They rush up to the line when they need to and they have a big play. But other than that, they're pretty much just kind of bleeding this clock and just taking their time and just keeping that Madison offense off the field.
This is a completely different offensive strategy that we saw a week ago. It's not even close.
Last week it was 90-0 because Bowden was doing the same thing and he was trying to who could keep up with who.
Well, running the clock is what Van Alstyne's trying to do here. And Gallagher is going to fake it to Carroll, run it straight up the middle, and slung forward for nearly a first down to the 6-yard line.
Michael Horn in on the tackle there on Gallagher after he gets about almost 9 yards down the field.
He was stopped for 5, and Horn slung him for another 4.
Yeah, he did.
So 3rd and 1, and we're under 5 minutes here in Royce City. And Van Alstyne's knocking on the door at the 6-yard line. Porter's going to be split out wide to the near side. Cuthbertson in the slot on the far side. Drellin Davis split out wide to the right. Gallagher in the pistol sends a man in motion, and that's Porter. They're going to toss right side. Carroll slips a defender. He's going to be brought down around that right side. The left edge of the defensive side just kind of held tough there and forces a 4th down.
Pitch out to Carroll. Good pursuit there by Marcus Coben Hill to come from his defensive back position, able to knife through the line, able to get him back behind the line of scrimmage there. And so is this 4-down territory here for the Panthers? They've got the kicker. They've got Beckham
there's no
at their
question.
disposal.
No question. They could kick this one. There's not much of a wind on the field. The flags are flying high on top of the bleachers, but on the field, it's not that windy at all. I believe Van Alstyne's going to let it run down, take a timeout, and that's what they're going to do. We're going to take 1-2 with them. We'll be right back right after this.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
West Russ, 20. In the second quarter, Liberty on low, 13. Kettle Mills, 7.
Welcome back as the teams are headed back on the field. Austin Moore has been split out wide to the right instead of Drellin Davis. Our apologies. And apparently we're about to attempt a 26-yard field goal. The snap is on the tee. The kick is a low line drive kick. And the kick is good. And it's not Beckham. It is Danny Kern on the 26-yard field goal. We'll be back right after this timeout.
You're invited to the one and only Bucksnort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Bucksnort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Bucksnort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
Welcome back to Royce City. It was a 9-play, 74-yard drive by Van Alstyne that ended on a 26-yard field goal by Danny Kern. A low line drive kick that squirreled its way through. I wouldn't say squirreled. It was a nice kick, but it was a low line driver. And the Van Alstyne Panthers extend their lead 19-0. 3:40 on the clock left before the half. And man alive, it sure is sad to see the far bleachers over there with only 20 people in the stands. This is going to be a long kick. Drop back all the way to the 3-yard line. From one side to the other is Record. Now back to the middle of the field, and he's going to be brought down at the 23-yard line, and that's where Dallas Madison will set up shop left to right on a pretty good return by Record.
Yeah, drop that ball is about the 1. Usually when you have stuff like that, you get dropped back behind the 10, but good job by him to at least make it reasonable field position. But 3:32 to go here in the first half. I know I'm stating the obvious here, but you really need a score to stay in this game. You're down 19-0. Remember, the Panthers get the ball to start the second half.
So Madison will start from their own 22. Thibodeau will go in the gun with Kenny standing to his right. It's 1st and 10. And Thibodeau fakes the hand, drops back 3 steps, flushed out of the pocket. Steps up and now brought down behind the line of scrimmage. A pretty big loss back to the 16-yard line. And it's going to be the linebacker, Montsier, is one of them.
And 56, I'd say who 56 is.
It could be Hunter Griffin, 58 perhaps.
Yeah.
That's a long way down there. Even with binoculars, it's tough to see way down there. 3:03 on the clock. A big loss back to the 16-yard line. So 2nd down and 17. Thibodeau hands off to Record on the jet sweep from the right to the left, and he's going to be brought down as he gets back to about to the original line of scrimmage, somewhere around the 22-yard line. So a gain of about 6 for Dallas Madison, who desperately needs to get on the board here before the half if they want to stay in this football game.
And really here at third down, the clock is ticking at 2:30. If Van Alstyne get a stop here, they may think about taking a timeout themselves and getting the ball back for one more possession before the end of the half.
Yeah, I would imagine. You might see one. Let's see. And a deep pass complete down the field to Pelham at the 45-yard line, but a flag down right where the pass is caught. So this could be against Van Alstyne. It could be a push-off on Pelham. Let's check it and see.
Yeah, there was tight coverage there. I couldn't see who was in coverage there, if that was maybe Davis or maybe Moore right there. But he threw a dart there to Pelham. Good job there across the middle there by Pelham to bring that in. Let's see what the flag is. This would be a good first down, a great opportunity here for the Trojans.
There's 2:08 on the clock before the half, and this is going to be against Van Alstyne. And this is going to be a big one. This is a 15-yarder that's going to take the Trojans all the way into Van Alstyne territory at the 40-yard line.
I don't know if I even saw what the penalty was.
Let's check down with Blake Burnett to see if you got a chance to look at that one. Blake?
It's going to be 1st and 10 for Dallas Madison. They'll get the ball at the Van Alstyne 40-yard line.
I'm not sure. Well. And here's a throw deep down the field. It's going to be incomplete at the 2-yard line. And another flag is thrown at the end of this one. Let's check down with Blake Burnett. I think I got you potted up now, Blake.
That was roughing the passer on Van Alstyne, the last penalty.
Well, what did you see on that one there as they were throwing the deep ball? Is that going to be against Van Alstyne?
Yes, it sure looks like it, but it wasn't much.
All right, so let's
pass interference.
Well, it's pass interference against Van Alstyne, and all of a sudden the Dallas chapter is getting a little flag happy.
Well, Madison's kind of throwing the football downfield and just kind of letting their outside receivers just kind of fight for it and see if they get any luck here with the flags. And so far, they've been able to do that.
Ball at the 24-yard line. Thibodeau at the 30 in shotgun. He's going to fake the hand. No, he gives it to Kenny straight up the middle. Spinning out of a tackle inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And a pretty nice gain of about 7 there on first down. Again, they're racing against the clock, under a minute and a half now.
Number 4.
They go quickly here.
Thibodeau again gives to Kenny, right side, and he's going to be close to a first down at the 15. I'm not sure he got it, but if he did, they'll stop the clock to move the chains. They spotted it right at the 15, and they got enough for the first. So they'll stop the clock at 1. Well, it's not stopped. It's still running. 1:18, 17,
it should
16, 15. The clock is still running. Still running. They have not stopped the clock for the chains to move.
Wow. That's about 10 seconds that's gone off the clock there.
So Thibodeau in the gun. They're not in any hurry either here. Now under a minute. Thibodeau sends a man in motion, and they're going to give it to him near side. That's Pelham from one side. He spins out of a tackle to the 5, to the 3, and he's tackled in the end zone for a touchdown. He fumbles in the end zone, but it is a touchdown. There's a flag down, and we'll check that.
A lot of things going on there. The clock was running. They got a first down. The clock was running as they moved the chains. The jet sweep around to Pelham, fumbled it right at the goal line. I guess he was into the end zone.
It appeared to me that he was tackled in the end zone, and then the ball came out. But let's check down with Blake Burnett.
Yes, I saw it as he was tackled in the end zone, and then the ball came out. But I believe the flag is on Madison here. Not sure what it is.
Well, they're moving. There's a lot of discussion. Apparently, the officials are talking on the far side with head coach for Madison, Marcus Gates, and apparently it's going to be a procedure against the Trojans. So no touchdown, and back it up to the 20 instead of the 15-yard line. That's a big penalty.
That is a big one.
So left to right, under a minute, 46 seconds left to go before the half. And Thibodeau has a touchdown wiped off the board, and he'll go in shotgun formation. 3 receivers near side with Kenny standing to his left. And he wants to throw. The screen pass out to Record, near side, 15, 10, and slung down and still fighting to the 5-yard line. A great run by Record as he spins and runs backwards. Close to a first down.
Good job there. He had two receivers on the outside there, Dadrian Marshall and Jacoby Dorsey, blocking on the outside for him.
And now the clock does stop momentarily as we have a new set of downs. Thibodeau, handoff, straight up the middle. Kenny bounces it out to the left, gets a great block around the edge, and is going to be tackled at the 2-yard line. A wonderful tackle outside
by Dylan Porter.
Porter made a magnificent stop.
He kept trying to get around that corner. He went from the middle of the field to the left side, and Porter, good pursuit by him.
So here goes Thibodeau in shotgun formation, and he's going to try to keep it, and I'm not sure he got it.
I don't think he did either.
I'm not sure he got it. Van Alstyne may have held on this.
Now, they've got one timeout left.
Well, apparently
or two.
It stopped at the 1, and a timeout's been called. We will take 1, too. We'll be right back right after this.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
So here we go. We've got 21 seconds left to go before the half. Van Alstyne leading 19-0. The Dallas Madison Trojans have it at the 1-yard line. We'll have 2 backs along with Thibodeau in shotgun formation. Kenny to the right.
You don't need a penalty here.
Now
for sure.
going under center is Thibodeau, and he's going to run backwards and hand off to Record right over right guard. And I believe he's in, and he is. Touchdown Dallas Madison with 13 seconds left to go in quarter number 2.
Boy, and Madison really needed that, and a good job by them to bleed just almost all the clock off here at the first half. And so puts them back down by 13.
So swinging gate from Dallas Madison. They say, VA, you can do it, we can do it too, is what they're saying. So swinging gate, we'll see what happens here, and Thibodeau's going to run it to the right side on the option, and stopped at the line of scrimmage. A great play on the near side by the Panthers to stop Kenny at the 2-yard line. So 6 points after Drellin Davis and Austin Moore stop him. 19-6. We'll be right back right after this timeout.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of the Van Alstyne Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Have you been in the Lone Star in Van Alstyne lately? If not, here's what you're missing. Meet Taco, a build-your-own taco shop where your food is made your way. Texacona Coffee Lodge, serving specialty coffee and baked goods and made on-site daily. Subway, eat fresh. A large dining area with free Wi-Fi. Newly renovated restrooms. Then there's the Lone Star Savers Reward Program, helping the customers save time and money. But the best thing about Lone Star in Van Alstyne? It's in Van Alstyne, where we've been supporting the Panthers for over 20 years.
Welcome back. 19-6. Van Alstyne in the lead. And Dallas Madison punches it in. A pretty nice drive. 10 plays, 78 yards for Madison. And the kick is going to be a low line drive kick, pretty deep. Going to be taken at the 11-yard line. Austin Moore coming up straight up the field. Lots of room. Up the right hash, spins out of a tackle. It's going to be finally brought down at the 41-yard line at the Van Alstyne side of the field. And that's going to be the end of the first half.
I think a flag came in. I'm sorry, Ronnie.
Well, the officials are talking about it, but everybody's exiting the field. I'm not sure they are. Not sure anything's going to happen with this flag, but we'll see what they do here. Is it going to be offsides? Perhaps it's going to be holding against Van Alstyne. and it's been declined, and that is the end of the first half. So we are at the half now officially, and it hasn't been quite the barn burner that we had a week ago. Last week was one of those once-in-a-decade type games, or once-in-maybe-two-decade type games. This one here is just your generic old, really good high school football game.
High school playoff game. Yeah, what was last week's score at half? Like 43-35 or something like that at the half. And
that's it. That's what it was.
These are two teams right here battling out here the first round. Got Madison with that score, they're able to kind of keep themselves in it here, only down by 13.
Well, the good news is Dallas Madison band's going to play. The bad news is that eliminates almost their entire bleachers. The band looks like maybe about 20 members and a flag corps that goes with them. And we'll let you listen to some of that. But, this has been one of those games where Van Alstyne had a completely different philosophy than they had a week ago. As Dallas Madison started with the football, and they went 4 plays and had to punt. Van Alstyne took it and started at their own 43-yard line, drove 7 plays and 67 yards before a 28-yard touchdown by Justin Barnes to get things going tonight. And with the swinging gate for Rimpel, Van Alstyne had an 8-0 lead with 7:32 left on the first quarter clock. And then Madison took it over from their own 34 and had to turned it over on downs rather, and then gave it back to Van Alstyne from their own 32, and they punted. Gave it back to Dallas Madison, and they punted. So things, it wasn't quite as electric as what we've seen in the past several weeks. Van Alstyne then took it at their own 45-yard line and drove 8 plays, 55 yards, and that one ended on a 15-yard touchdown by none other than the quarterback, Rhett Gallagher. And that, with another Rimpel 2-point conversion, up the Van Alstyne Panther lead to 16-0 with 11:55 left to go in quarter number 2. The Dallas Madison Trojans then took it at their own 26-yard line and went 10 plays and had to punt. That was a really hard one for the Trojans, as they kept the ball for a very long time, but then ended up having to punt it deep in Van Alstyne territory. And they pinned Van Alstyne at their own 10, but it didn't matter because Austin Moore on the first play ran 20 yards up to the 33-yard line, and then eventually capped off a 9-play, 74-yard drive where Danny Kern ended it on a 26-yard field goal, and Van Alstyne's lead moved up to 19-0 with 3:40 left to go in quarter number 2. Dallas Madison took the ball with 3:32 left to go in the half, or before half, at their own 22-yard line and drove again 10 plays and 78 yards. This time they punched it in, a 14-yard touchdown, or a 1-yard touchdown rather, by record, and that got Dallas Madison on the board 19-6 with 13 seconds left to go before the half. So Dallas Madison, I would say, in the second quarter looked a whole lot better than the Dallas Madison of the first quarter, Justin White.
Yeah, it looked like they started to kind of maybe get their legs under them. I don't know if it's playoff jitters or just trying to figure out, okay, this is what we got here, what we've done to get here. Now let's get going here. And so they were able to move that ball down the field, and we saw glimpses of it there in the first quarter, but second quarter really got to started turning on. And they're going to need to get a stop here to start this first half, the second half here, because Van Alstyne gets a touchdown, and all of a sudden it's 27-6, and you're really behind the 8 ball then.
I'm going to guess that Dallas Madison's band is a lot of drums.
A lot of percussion.
There's a lot of drums going on down there. There's not very many of them, but there's a lot of drums.
Yeah, the flag corps is doing pretty good, or the twirlers, whatever they are.
I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick timeout, and when we come back, Van Alstyne and their marching band will be on the field as well. We'll be right back right after this timeout.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same: We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
I'm attorney Micah Belden. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at shermancriminallawyer.com.
Texoma Barn Company is a family-owned business right here in Van Alstyne. There's nothing too big or too small, for as they build barn dominiums, shops, garages, arenas, you name it. Owner David Griffin is a national commercial-grade builder with over 30 years of experience. You can visit TexomaBarnCompany.com or call them at 844-500-BARN. They're on Facebook also at Texoma Barn Company. They've completed over 200 projects in 5 years. Let yours be the next. Texoma Barn Company. VA all the way.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Welcome back. Royce City, Texas, Royce City ISD Stadium, Dallas Madison, and the Van Alstyne Panthers. Dallas Madison, we're told, okay, Stephen Braswell is showing his age. We said that was the flag corps out there for Dallas Madison. He says that's the pep squad. I didn't know pep squad.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard of that since 1978.
Maybe that's the reason why he knew it from old school.
I'll tell you what. I think the Madison Trojan Band is making their way off the field. There's still a lot of percussion. And Van Alstyne apparently about to go on. It's, I don't know how much we want to keep saying that Van Alstyne looks like Van Alstyne, and Dallas Madison did not look like, what we expected them to look like in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, we kind of saw a glimpse of how their offenses go behind Thibodeau.
Yeah, Thibodeau is kind of the motor that kind of makes it go. But, having those good playmakers with Pelham and Record, and then a nice little dose of Kenny there, you can see how this offense has been able to put up points during the regular season. I mean, Thibodeau's got a nice arm on him. He can run when he needs to. They just got to take advantage of their opportunities when they get the ball, because we're also seeing, too, Van Alstyne is starting to hold the ball a little bit longer. They're trying to keep this Madison offense off the field.
Yeah, Madison scored 280 during the regular season, gave up 177. Van Alstyne scored 408 and gave up 250. You can see the contrast in those two teams, and it represents the scoreboard tonight, 19-6, Van Alstyne in the lead over Madison. So the Van Alstyne Band is setting up, and we're going to let you listen to that in its entirety here in just a moment once they get set up. And I'm going to tell you what, Stephen Braswell, to me it looks like they have a flag corps.
Yeah, that looks like a flag corps there with flags in their hands.
Now, if they have flags, does it eliminate the pep squad? I thought the pep squad had to have dancers and highlighters, and I'm so confused. I don't know.
He's got to get his mic on here and tell us.
Tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and move you on, Mike. So go ahead and talk to us there. Tell us the difference between a pep squad. This is going to be interesting. Go ahead.
We're all listening.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. Here we go. Okay. Whoops. There we go. I think I'm ready. You never. Okay. All right. So he says, and I'm not sure, we may be in the wrong channel there. He says that
they were doing pep squad routines.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. We got it, I think. Anyway, nonetheless, here's your Van Alstyne Panther Band. We'll let you listen to it in its entirety.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with three objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
You're invited to the one and only Bucksnort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Bucksnort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Bucksnort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of the Van Alstyne Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. At Adams Automotive and Towing, they do it all, from diesel repair to engines, brakes, routine maintenance, transmissions, exhaust, tire sales, alignment, oil changes, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Adams Automotive can be reached at 903-482-5784 or at adamsautotow.com. They support the Van Alstyne Panthers 24/7. Find them on Facebook at Adams Automotive and Towing, and you can request a quote immediately online. Adams Automotive and Towing are proud supporters of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Welcome back, as the victory line has been made by the Van Alstyne Panther Band, awaiting their favorite team in blue to make their way back out on the field. We still have about, it appears, 9.5 minutes or so before we're ready to kick this thing off for the second half. Again, we have a 19-6 game, and we want to welcome those and thank those who are listening tonight on howenterprise.com and on KXEZ 92.1 FM. Thank you all in Radio Land. It's been a fun broadcast so far tonight. You know, it's been a while since we've been here at Royce City. We did a game 2 years ago for the Howe Bulldogs and the Mineola team that eventually won state, and it was right down here about the 10-yard line that I'll always remember. Brandon Wall, unfortunately, we love Brandon, but he had that ball just kind of slip out of his hands down there as Howe was about to punch it in, and I'm afraid if Howe punches it in right there, that he might go on and win that football game. And Mineola ended up winning the entire thing. So Howe was 3 games away. Obviously, you have to do a whole lot. You got to win those 3 games that Mineola won, and one of those was Pottsboro. And, but you know, hey, you never know, and we will never know if you know, perhaps that game could have gone a different way at the end of the game.
And if I'm not mistaken, I may be totally wrong on this. Wasn't the game Howe played against Edgewood first round a few years ago? Was that here at Royce City as well?
I don't believe that was.
Is that not? Okay.
No. All these turf stadiums are starting to look alike.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
All their 8-lane tracks and really nice turf fields, they really are starting to kind of blend together. Matter of fact, we were walking down the down the bleachers earlier, and I thought, hey, in order to access the field, we're going to have to walk around to the right, and there's a tunnel down there, a little ramp to go down. And we walked around there, and it's not there. And I went, hey, wait, oh, that's a different stadium that we've done. And they all run together because they all kind of look alike now. They're somewhat cookie-cutter stadiums with tall bleachers and nice rugs. And this one is a really nice facility.
This press box is up into the heavens. I mean, it's a giant piece of work.
It is, and it's really tough to see down there, and I don't like to keep harping on that, but man alive, I don't see very well to begin with. I wear glasses when I do this, and when I'm trying to look through binoculars and then try to put the glasses on to see after that to write things down, it makes it a little bit difficult.
Yeah, trying to see all that, trying to translate what's been going on the field, I mean, that's a lot to do. I
had a broadcast partner one time who labeled me Mr. Magoo back in the late 1990s or early 2000s, and that one kind of stuck, and it's kind of true. 19-6. We're looking at stats from last week. We're not going to have anywhere near that. A week ago at the half, our statistician from a week ago was Blake Burnett. He's on the sidelines today, but at the half, Carroll had 106 yards. Well, he may very well have that tonight at the half.
Yeah.
Gallagher had 118 and 2 touchdowns. He does not have that in the first half.
Wouldn't think so.
Passing a week ago at the half, Gallagher was 4 out of 8 for 147 yards. How many has he attempted in the first half this week?
Passes?
2 passes.
Yeah.
2 passes.
Yeah. They pretty much had to kept it on the ground and been successful with that tonight.
They have done a very good job talking about the Van Alstyne Panthers. They've done a nice job of their game plan for tonight of trying to keep Dallas Madison and their speed on the sidelines. They're kind of playing, they're kind of playing the type of offense that one of their rivals might play.
If I was looking at keys to the second half here, is first of all, I continue to do that. I continue to run the ball and take time off the clock, but pretty quickly here, I would just take the wind out of their sails of Madison here. So the next couple of possessions will be important for not only Madison to stay in this, but for Van Alstyne to just kind of instill their will here and put this thing out of hand early on, and maybe even be able to sit Gallagher and sit Carroll and sit some of those starters there and rest up for next week.
It's been a while since Van Alstyne has not put up mega points. If you go back during district play against Rains, they started off district 51-0 against Rains, and then 41-20 against Pottsboro, and then 38-24 against Lone Oak, and then 42-9 against Commerce, and then 60-0 against Howe, and then 78-63 against Bonham. That's for a district total points of 310. Most teams don't get that in an entire season. No. 310 points in district play is pretty remarkable.
So 38 points. They scored at least 38 points in every district game. That's pretty remarkable.
Well, and you look at the last 4 games, they went up each week, 38 to 42 to 60 to 78. If they're going to go up tonight, it's going to be quite the barn burner in the second half, because 19 points on the board would require about 60 points here in the second half. And I don't think that's going to happen tonight.
No, and at the rate they were going earlier in the second quarter there, when they were trying to slow it down and keep them off keep Madison off the field, I don't think they're going to score anything close to that.
Well, we're about to have the run-throughs as Dallas Madison has come in their end zone, as the Royce City engineers, if you will, are playing some highlights on the digital scoreboard. Now, it's one of those where the scoreboard may judge how old this stadium is. It's not the big HD. Matter of fact, it's one of the smaller ones. If you look back at, if you ever go to the ballpark in Arlington, there's the massive screens, and they're all HD, and they're just immaculate. And then if you look back at, the 1990s, and you see the screen that they had up there, it was that, 4x3 little, it was, back then it was great. if you're looking back, it wasn't that great.
Well, it's like watching videos and seeing, how did we ever do without HD?
Right.
When the standard television around.
Well, it's pretty awesome to have a digital scoreboard and television and replay system up here at the stadium.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty remarkable in high school football that you can actually look back and see your highlights. As soon as you score, you can look up there and see the replay of it. And they're showing some highlights from last week's game, apparently, as they're showing the Proctor touchdown across the middle that was at Bonham a week ago. So some highlights from last week's game is being played right now on the big scoreboard, Jumbotron, if you will, here at Rockwall, Roy City ISD Stadium.
And speaking of that, I don't know if we've touched on this, that Bonham, who was placed second in the district here in District 5, lost last night to Eustis. And so Bonham is surprisingly out in the first round.
One day closer to you. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll be right back right after this.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is the result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of the Van Alstyne Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. At Adams Automotive and Towing, they do it all, from diesel repair to engines, brakes, routine maintenance, transmissions, exhaust, tire sales, alignment, oil changes, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Adams Automotive can be reached at 903-482-5784 or at adamsautotow.com. They support the Van Alstyne Panthers 24/7. Find them on Facebook at Adams Automotive and Towing, and you can request a quote immediately online. Adams Automotive and Towing are proud supporters of the Van Alstyne Panthers. Texoma Barn Company is a family-owned business right here in Van Alstyne. There's nothing too big or too small, for as they build barn dominiums, shops, garages, arenas, you name it. Owner David Griffin is a national commercial-grade builder with over 30 years of experience. You can visit TexomaBarnCompany.com or call them at 844-500-BARN. They're on Facebook also at Texoma Barn Company. They've completed over 200 projects in 5 years. Let yours be the next. Texoma Barn Company. VA all the way.
Welcome back. We are at Roy City ISD Stadium. This town has grown a lot over the years. 12,000 population now. It was my sophomore year. We played Roy City in the bi-district game, none other than Howe, Texas. We had the coin toss situation. Some coaches got a little heated at each other, and the Howe coach flipped for home and won.
Oh, wow.
So Howe played a bi-district football game at home against these Roy City Bulldogs back when they were in Class 2A. Roy City's changed a lot since 1989, and now they have this luxurious field over here that they've had for probably going on 10 years now, and 12,000 people, and I noticed another development going right behind us over here, and it's just a totally different city than it was 25 years ago.
Are you comfortable saying who won that game?
I am. The Howe Bulldogs did advance.
I guess you wouldn't bring it up if the Bulldogs would have lost, huh?
Probably not. We probably would have let that one slide. It's 19-6, and we're just about ready for the second half here as Madison's going to kick off, and it's going to be a low line drive kick. It's going to go to Austin Moore at the 11-yard line, straight up the field, looking for a block. He's got the 30 and runs into a defender at the 32 and going to go down right there, and that's where Van Alstyne will start the second half as we'll change the scoreboard over to 3. And it's 11:55 left to go in the third quarter. Just underway, about ready for the first play. Moving right to left is Van Alstyne.
This is a important drive for the Madison defense. I talked earlier. They're going to need to get a stop if they want to stay in this ball game. But if I'm the Panthers, I keep giving it to Jake Carroll and Justin Barnes and Dosa Gallagher here and there.
This is going to be Gallagher fumbling the snap. He has to go down in front of him to try to just recover it, and he does. It'll be a loss back to the 28-yard line, and that's a loss of about 4. And that's not the way Van Alstyne wanted to start the second half.
We've seen a couple of low snaps here. That one was kind of low and kind of more in front of him, and he couldn't field it cleanly and just had to fall on it because he had some Trojans coming right at him.
Second down and 14 coming up for Van Alstyne as they're not in any hurry whatsoever. Just kind of looking to the line, and Gallagher sends a man in motion from right to left, and then he drops back, setting up the screen all the way back. Just has to throw it away because he had heated pressure right on him. And I'm not sure if there's a flag down or not. It looks like there is. At the 11-yard line. Let's talk to Blake Burnett about that play right there. What'd you see, Blake?
Yeah, Gallagher just got drilled. He looks hurt on the play as his teammates are picking him up off the turf right now.
So Gallagher limps back. He's not leaving the field. The flag is being waved off.
Wow.
And apparently Gallagher was not flagged for intentional grounding. I thought that's what that might have been, as he just kind of heaved it away as he was under pressure. So the ball will go back to its original spot before the ball was snapped, which is at the 28-yard line.
That was a screenplay that was developing, and the offensive line kind of lets the defensive line come through. Well, he let Eric Jefferson come through, and Jefferson was coming with some heat there, and I thought at first it was a flag, a roughing the passer. I thought at first, but y'all thought it was intentional grounding, and it was waved off either way.
Well, there's something to do here with the officials. They called an official timeout, something to do with Proctor, Gage Proctor, who comes off the field. I'm not sure whether it's an equipment issue. So I'm not sure. We'll have to check with that. 3rd and 14, right to left. Gallagher drops back, wanting to throw, under pressure now. He's flushed out of the pocket towards the far sideline, throws it, and it's going to be incomplete. Looking for his receiver across the field, and it's going to be punt time for Van Alstyne early on here as Cuthbertson couldn't come up with it. It was nowhere near him.
And that was Trojans were bringing extra guys there, and Gallagher didn't have time to throw that. He was rolling out, trying to find somebody downfield, had to throw it away, and that's exactly what the Trojans needed right there, was a 3 and out for them. And so Panthers are going to want to pin them deep here.
You're worried about the hangover effect from the emotional game a week ago, and they just don't look to be moving in the same speed as they have been the past couple of weeks. Here's the punt, going to be taken at the 40 on the far side. Slips the defender, 45, 50. Look out, 40, looking for a block. And Marshall is slung down at the 25-yard line. So Madison is set up in great shape at the Van Alstyne 25, already knocking on the door with 10:46 left to go here in quarter number 3, trailing 19-6.
Good return there by the Trojans. They got away with one, maybe 2 blocking the backs there. Blake, I don't know if you can hear us. Blake, did you see a block in the back as well down there?
Yes, I saw 2 blocking the backs on that play. Van Alstyne coaches are going crazy. No call from the ref.
And I thought the players were going to revolt there, or the crowd was going to revolt here. They thought that was a flag too.
After this play, we'll give you station identification. It is 1st down and 10, left to right, and this is going to be a handoff to Kenny, and he goes left, and he's stopped initially, but breaks out of another tackle, coming back near side, got the 15, and down at the 14. Let's take a quick station identification break. You're listening to the Texas High School Football Game of the Week on Grayson Publishing, LLC. Be right back right after this. About a 2-yard gain there from what it appears to be the receiver, Coben Hill. And it'll be 2nd down and 9 for Dallas Madison, left to right. 10:05 on the clock here in quarter number 3. It is, again, 2nd down and 9 as they're hustling up to the line of scrimmage. Trips to the left side, man in motion. And Thibodeau is going to fake it to him and give it to him. And again, that's Coben Hill. Flag down as he makes it near the first down marker at the 6-yard line. It appears that it might be a holding call, what our spotter Stephen Braswell says.
And it was. I'll tell you what, these first couple of plays here on this opening drive here for Trojans, they look like a different team coming out. They've got a spark under them. Maybe been slowed down here by that flag, but they're getting the ball moving, got a little rhythm going here to this drive. Up until that flag.
You know, they do look like the team with momentum. And you worry about Van Alstyne, who was kind of lax on their first drive. They came out not with the same kind of energy that they've had in previous weeks. We'll see if that changes. It's second down and a long way to go for Madison here as Thibodeau wants to throw. 3-step drop, looking deep in the end zone, and it's going to be overthrown about 6 yards deep in the end zone. Looking for his, I believe that's his favorite wide receiver, Cedric Pullum, in the end zone, but it falls incomplete. However, I was told that was Marshall and not Pullum way down there on the field.
Definitely overthrows him there. That penalty is that really set Madison back here because they're third down and what do we say, 20
about
at least?
About 14, perhaps 15, 16. So Thibodeau in the gun. He drops back and wants to throw again. This time he's under pressure. He throws it across the middle, and it may be a great catch at the 5-yard line. And it's going to be Pelham on the catch, and he will make the catch. It's shy of the first down, or did he catch it? No, apparently that one's incomplete. He couldn't hang on to it at the very end. No replay on that one.
Yeah, and that was kind of a slant there across the middle. They've been running that here several times here tonight, trying to get it to Pelham or get it to Record and try to sneak it in, and Pelham couldn't hang on to it. So this is 4-down territory here for the Trojans, and they're 4th and 19 is what it looks like.
So Thibodeau all alone, empty backfield, 3 receivers right, 1 up top or 2 up top. Van Alstyne may have jumped across the line. Thibodeau under pressure. He's going to run it at the 20, at the 15, and pushed out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Not enough for a first. I don't see a flag. One Van Alstyne Panther I thought might have come across the line of scrimmage. Apparently he was able to get back. And the Madison Trojans did not pick up the first down and turn the ball over on downs right there with 9:10 left to go in the third quarter.
Thibodeau escaped pressure there, trying to avoided pressure there and able to get downfield but short of the first down. But also, too, looked like, I think is that 27, that's Barnes, who I believe just got lit, Justin Barnes got lit up on a block there, kind of blindsided him, and he was probably seeing stars there for a little bit.
So they're going to place the ball at the 11-yard line. So Van Alstyne has got to go 89 yards here. And if anybody can do it, it's Rhett Gallagher and company. 2 receivers near side, 1 at the top. Gallagher turns and hands, and that's Carroll. No, he's going to keep it around the left side. He's got the 10, trying to outrun people to the 15, and gets to the 20-yard line, close to a first down, and they give him a great spot at the 21, which is a first down.
First of all, it was a good defensive stand there by the Panthers on that last drive here, and then the Gallagher on the keeper there around the left side, and they got the hurry up going here.
Yeah, back to a good pace for Van Alstyne. Near side Carroll, and he's going to be drugged down by 1 defender on the near side, but not after about a 5 or 6 yard pickup by Carroll to the 27-yard line.
Carroll ran that left side, and they're starting to go quicker here. Cabron Fox on that last tackle. Bringing back a 2nd down and 5, 2nd down and 6 here for the Panthers.
And Van Alstyne in hurry-up offense again in the pistol formation, and now Carroll moves out of the backfield. Empty gun, and now Gallagher wants to run it straight up the middle. He's got a little bit of a seam, and he takes advantage of what he gets, and what he gets is a first down to the 35.
And we're starting to see this this Panther offense, the running game, start to get going. With some runs by Gallagher and Carroll.
8:23 and rolling here in quarter number 3 as the Van Alstyne Panthers on their side of the field here, 15 yards shy of midfield at the 35. A fresh set of downs, and they pick up the pace just a little bit. Pistol formation, Gallagher and Carroll, and they fake it to Carroll, and Gallagher runs around the right side, and he's stuffed for a loss of about 2, maybe 3 yards back to the 32-yard line.
Number 1, Michael Horn in on the tackle, and then number 8? Kinney in on the tackle as well as Gallagher trying to get around that right side, and good pursuit there by Horn and Kinney.
Well, you have to give Madison a lot of credit here tonight. They have really done a number on stopping Gallagher from getting outside on that play action fake on the read option. A pistol formation here from the 32-yard line. A low snap, Gallagher digs it out, hands off up the middle to Carroll. 3 yards to the 36-yard line perhaps. And this will set up a pretty important third down for Van Alstyne.
Yeah, they started moving fast here, and now they're still moving fast here, going with Carroll there up the middle on some 3 hard-fought yards there. Third down and long. Let's see what Coach Miller has here on third and long at their own 36-yard line.
Third down and 9. Gallagher rolls out right, throws down the field, one hops his receiver rather, and it's incomplete. It would have been a first down, but it just fell just short for Drellin Davis, and then it'll be punt time for Van Alstyne. And everything that was going so quickly, all of a sudden, turns into a punt.
And Gallagher was rolling out there, and there were some Trojans coming in on him with some heavy heat there. He had to get rid of that a little quicker than he wanted to, a little off target more than he wanted to, and Davis had to trap it there.
Gallagher's punt is a high, wobbly kick, a great kick all the way down to the 10 to the 5, and it barely rolls into the end zone. A flag is down, but what a massive kick that was for Rhett Gallagher.
That flipped the field there for the Panthers.
Wow. Nice. So there's 6:49 on the clock here in quarter number 3. And the Madison Trojans will start from their own 20. And not quite the amount of possessions that we had a week ago. There's a legal procedure apparently against Van Alstyne, what we're told. We'll see what that does to the ball placement. Let's check down with Blake Burnett down there. What's it like on the sidelines?
This game is heating up now in the third quarter here as both teams are getting after it. Hopefully we have a good game in the end here tonight.
Well, I think we will, and you're right. The first quarter was a little bit dormant for Dallas Madison, but since then they've tried to make a game out of it. Still only 6 points on the board, but they've kind of had a lot of momentum ever since that first quarter. 6:47 on the clock. Thibodeau wants to throw deep down the left side. It's going to be caught at the 37-yard line. And I believe on the reception over there is once again Cedric Pelham. And that's a huge reception, a big deep ball over the left side.
Yeah, we see the arm of Thibodeau and then Pelham downfield there, and they're going fast here again, or the Trojans.
Well, spotted at the 37-yard line in Van Alstyne territory. Thibodeau hands off up the middle, and that is Kinney again running right side. And he bounces it from the middle to the right. I take that back. I believe that is Coben Hill on the carry and not Kinney. So Coben Hill, Cobin-Hill, Coben Hill will set up a second down and 5 after a 5-yard carry. Thibodeau will hand off to Coben Hill again, straight up the middle, and he's got enough for a first, and he's dragging defenders to somewhere around the 23-yard line before the whistles finally blow after everyone was piled up.
Madison is getting some positive yardage here, the long play downfield. They get a pretty good run here to move the chains. They can get a score here. This thing makes it 19-12, maybe 19-13, maybe 19-14. You get a 2-point conversion. So this is an important drive here for Madison.
First down and 10. Left to right from the 23. Thibodeau looking for the end zone. Now he's got a lot of room to run. 20, 15, 10. Being corralled, escapes a defender at the 5, runs out of bounds just before the 5 at about the 7-yard line. So Thibodeau had lots of room to run.
Had a lot of defensive backs covering the receivers that were going out, and only 4-man rushing, so there was a lot of real estate there in the middle of the field. He took advantage of it all the way up inside the 10-yard line. A chance here for Madison to pull within half a touchdown.
So Thibodeau's going to hand off Coben Hill up the middle. Nothing doing there. Maybe a yard. And they'll spot him at the 5. I thought for a moment the ball might have came out, but apparently it did not. So second down and goal from the 5 coming up.
The Panther defense has been stingy down here in the red zone. tonight. They gave up that 6 points in the second quarter, but really made Madison fight for it there. Only had to convert a third down to get there.
Well, they punch it in right here, and we got a ball game on our hands. 5:01 on the clock here in quarter number 3. Second down and goal from the 5 coming up. Under the 5-minute mark now. 2 men in the backfield, along with Thibodeau. And this is going to be a handoff up the middle of Record, who's near the end zone, and he's down at the 1-yard line.
Number 21 on the carry.
It's a draw at the middle there, and they tackled him right about the 3. And I thought maybe they tackled him. His forward momentum was going, that they would put him in the end zone. They didn't.
Madison is hurrying up, trying to punch it in right here. Thibodeau under center. He's going to try to sneak it across himself. We're waiting on any kind of a signal from the official, and he's in. Touchdown, Dallas Madison. Grab your socks and pull. We got a football game. 4:19 left to go in quarter number 3. It's a one-touchdown game, 19-12.
I talked about Van Alstyne needing to come in here the second half and instill their will and put this game away. Don't let Madison hang around. And they're allowing Madison to hang around. 19-12, down by 7. Got the swinging gate formation coming up here.
A moment ago, Thibodeau tried to run it on the option to the right side on this 2-point conversion. They're going to try it again. This time he tries to keep it, makes a move, and I think he's down. His knee was down before he went in, and I think that's what the officials are going to call. He was just shy.
Wow.
And he is. 4:19 left to go in quarter number 3. We have a football game in Royce City, Texas, 19-12. We'll be right back right after this.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for here at Scoggins Funeral Home in Van Alstyne. Since the beginning, affordability has been at the top of our checklist. Every day, we're proving that funerals don't have to be expensive. From our facilities to having a personalized service, all of the details are addressed. Nothing can cause you more disappointment than poor quality. Make it special. Make it Scoggins Funeral Home. We put our name on it. Tommy and Bobby K. Scoggins are here with you in your time of need. Visit scogginsfuneralhome.com.
Austin Moore takes the kickoff and runs it back to the 39-yard line. A pretty good return by Austin Moore. I thought there was going to be a flag for offsides against Madison, as it appeared that the safety might have went across the line before the kicker kicked it, but no flag. 4:12 on the clock, 19-12. Van Alstyne in the lead, and they have the ball at their own 39-yard line, moving right to left.
And a pretty good return there by Van Alstyne up to their own 40-yard line.
So Gallagher in the gun, and he will fake it, turn around, and now he's in trouble behind the line of scrimmage, and he slides down on a busted play. Another loss on first down, and now all of a sudden Van Alstyne is setting up in second down and long on 2 straight possessions.
Right there, he was faking it to the left. There was nobody there. Another broken play. We've seen that 2 or 3 times where there have been miscommunication between Gallagher and the running back in the backfield, and it's cost him 3 yards, and it's an important part of the game right now.
So ball at the 37. Justin Barnes stands right behind Gallagher in the pistol. And he fakes the hand, wants to throw it deep down the right side, looking for Drellin Davis, who makes the catch at the 25, strolls into the end zone. Nobody's going to touch him. Kiss him goodbye. Van Alstyne's back on the board.
A great pass there by Gallagher. Perfect touch on it. Put it right where Drellin Davis could catch it. There was one-on-one coverage there. The defender fell down, and good job there by the Panthers. Have answered back here, made it a 2-possession ball game.
In a traditional PAT style now, no swinging gate, and it'll be Kern, it appears. Gallagher to hold. It's on the tee. The kick is up. The kick is true. The kick is good. And Van Alstyne leads 26-12. We'll be right back right after this timeout.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is the result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of the Van Alstyne Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Van Alstyne fakes the quail onside. What a beautiful call it was. Only a 2-play drive, or 3 plays rather, for Van Alstyne. Went 61 yards. And a high pooch kickoff is going to be fielded by Dallas Madison. And thankfully for Madison, it was fielded by Dorsey, the wide receiver who is on that kick return team.
Kind of a little bit of a gamble there to see if Madison can field it cleanly. They did. Now they have good field position at the 49-yard line, and they were able to move the ball fairly easily the last drive up until they got inside the 10-yard line and had to really work for it, but good field position for the Trojans.
So Coben Hill stands to the right now, left side of Thibodeau. Now he goes out of in motion to trips formation. There's actually 4 receivers on the left side. Thibodeau throws it to Coben Hill on the screen pass. He gets a few blocks and a few yards, maybe about 4 or 5, inside Van Alstyne territory to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, but Coben Hill behind 3 receivers, threw it out to Coben Hill, and he just kind of waited for his blocks to materialize there. He only got about 5-6 yards on the play there, but a chance to get Coben Hill in open field and use his speed and athleticism.
During the timeout, we were thinking ding, ding, ding. Was that the left corner knockout? But I don't know. Here comes Dallas Madison. 2nd down and 5. Thibodeau hands off straight up the middle. Coben Hill, lots of room to run near the 35 and down at the 34-yard line. Move the sticks for Dallas Madison.
Coben Hill is getting this running game for Madison life here in the second half with some big gashes here on the Panther defense.
Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Thibodeau, handoff again. Coben Hill, same play, up the middle. Crosses the 30 to the 28-yard line. 29 perhaps.
Again, another important drive as clock continues to tick here with about 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Need a score here to try to keep this within reason. You're down by 14.
Yeah, Dallas Madison is going to have to they were in the situation where they had come all the way back to make it a football game, and then Rhett Gallagher lays the hammer home to Drellin Davis on a massive 37-yard touchdown pass. Or 63-yard touchdown pass.
63, I think.
There's a handoff to Coben Hill straight up the middle, and not much doing there, maybe to the 28.
And just a draw at the middle here, Panther defense stiffens there on that one as Hunter Griffin in on the tackle.
3rd down and 4.
So a minute 39 on the third quarter clock. It's 3rd down and 4. And Dallas Madison talking about it. They're all looking at their playbooks that are strapped to their front belts. Everybody looking at it. Now they come to the line of scrimmage. Thibodeau talking to Coben Hill to his right. Now they talk, and now he moves him over and looking for the screen pass again, and this time Thibodeau keeps it. And he's going to look straight up the middle, not enough for a first down, a yard short at the 25-yard line.
A lot of motion there, a lot of moving around on Coben Hill there from the right, the left, put him in motion. Looked like he was going to try to throw it to him, and Thibodeau faked the throw and then went right up the middle there. Needed about 4, got about 3, so 4th down and 1 at the Panthers 25-yard line. This is obviously 4-down territory right here for the Trojans.
46 ticks left to go in the third quarter, and we have a 4th down and 1. 14-point game. Thibodeau in the gun, 2 men with him right in the backfield. He's going to hand off. Record left side, first down, 20, 15, 10, and finally brought down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. And a great tackle to save the touchdown by the defensive end. That's O'Laughlin.
They had Record and Coben Hill in the backfield there, and I think maybe the Panther defense man thought Coben Hill or Thibodeau would have taken it and give it to Record, and he breaks to the outside and gets downfield. We got a flag. Let's see what the flag is.
Let's talk to Blake Burnett down there.
They waved it off.
The flag is waving off. It would have been holding.
Okay, so Blake tells us it would have been holding, but it's been waved off. We have 26, 25 and rolling ticks on the clock here in the third. And a fresh set of downs for Dallas Madison, trailing by 14 here in Royce City. We're just about ready for the fourth quarter. There's 9 on the play clock, 12 on the game clock. 2 men in the backfield. Thibodeau in the gun. He's going to hand off left side and looking for the end zone, but going to come short about the 3-yard line. And that is Coben Hill, and that is the end of the fourth quarter. And when we come up here in a moment to start that fourth, Dallas Madison's going to be knocking on the door. We'll be right back right after this timeout.
At Adams Automotive and Towing, they do it all, from diesel repair to engines, brakes, routine maintenance, transmissions, exhaust, tire sales, alignment, oil changes, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Adams Automotive can be reached at 903-482-5784 or at adamsautotow.com. They support the Van Alstyne Panthers 24/7. Find them on Facebook at Adams Automotive and Towing, and you can request a quote immediately online. Adams Automotive and Towing are proud supporters of the Van Alstyne Panthers. Have you been in the Lone Star in Van Alstyne lately? If not, here's what you're missing. Me Taco, a build-your-own taco shop where your food is made your way. Texacona Coffee Lodge, serving specialty coffee and baked goods and made on-site daily. Subway, eat fresh. A large dining area with free Wi-Fi. Newly renovated restrooms. Then there's the Lone Star Savers Reward Program, helping the customers save time and money. But the best thing about Lone Star in Van Alstyne? It's in Van Alstyne, where we've been supporting the Panthers for over 20 years.
Welcome back to Royce City as the Trojans are coming out on the field. The ball's going to be placed on the left hash. 3 yards away from Pater and 1/4 away from this one being in the books. Let's see who wants to take it. Van Alstyne in the lead, 26-12. And they punched it in on a 63-yard pass and catch from Gallagher to Davis a moment ago, and now Dallas Madison trying to answer right back. Thibodeau goes under center. He's going to hand off to Record from the 3, and he makes it to the 2. Forward progress to the 2, and he'll be pushed back. A nice job by Van Alstyne to corral him and stuff him back. And one of those is going to be Hunter Griffin right there getting off the bottom of the pile.
And Maxwell Nazarko as well, kind of penetration there in the middle of that defensive line for the Panthers, able to stop Record. Let's get a big third down here for the Trojans.
3rd and 2 from the 2, trying to punch it in. Thibodeau in the gun. Record stands beside him. Man in motion, and this is going to be a toss right side to Record, and he strolls in almost uncontested. Touchdown, Dallas Madison, and they punch it in to get on the board once again to make it 26-18.
It seems like they've been getting a lot more of their yardage here in the second half on these outside runs, using their speed on the outside, and they did that there and just pitched it there to Record and had a pretty good hole there. Nobody's going to stop him there as he's able to plow his way through. 26-18, and this is kind of an important PAT as well. If you can get the 2-point conversion, you're down by 6.
The Trojan players were looking at the sidelines, and they all wanted to go for 2. They're all saying 2, 2, 2. Well, they get what they want as Thibodeau is in the gun. Coben Hill next to him. Thibodeau wants to throw in the end zone. It's going up and coming down is incomplete. Pelham is denied by Drellin Davis, who made a great play in the far corner end zone. 11-16 on the clock, 26-18. Van Alstyne in the lead. We'll be right back right after this.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
I'm attorney Micah Belden. Call me now if you've been investigated, arrested, or charged with a crime in North Texas. My number is 903-744-4252. We'll set up a free consultation. You will find out that I'm rough, tough, and I can't get enough. I'm board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization, Principal Office, Sherman, Texas. Visit my website at shermancriminallawyer.com.
Welcome back, and the kickoff is going to be taken and bobbled. Having to go back for it is Austin Moore at the 8-yard line up the middle of the field. Can't escape several Trojan defenders. Is going to be taken down at the 17-yard line, and Van Alstyne has a long way to go here.
You know, Monty, maybe it's just me the second half. They had the long pass down there to Davis, but it just seemed like Van Alstyne hasn't looked crisp in the second half here.
Yeah, it's not been the same offense, and a lot of speed on the defensive side of the ball has a lot to do with that, I would imagine. 26-18, Van Alstyne in the lead. 11:09 left to go in this game. Van Alstyne with the ball at their own 17. Barnes goes in motion out. They fake it to him now as Gallagher is going to try to run it himself under pressure and in all kinds of traffic and nowhere to go. Brought back way back to the 16-yard line. And again, Van Alstyne second down and long.
Well, it started out with number 1, Michael Horn, kind of getting penetration, and they just made Gallagher reverse field. And again, the speed of Madison has been able to kind of keep Gallagher at bay at times. I mean, he's done his damage when needed here, but especially the second half, they've made the adjustments to keep an eye on Gallagher.
Second down and 11, 10:35 on the clock. Barnes into the game, and he gets the toss left side and looking for that short corner of the field, and he runs out of room from the left hash. There's just not a lot of real estate to run over there on the toss sweep, and he goes out right about the line of scrimmage, and third down and 11 coming up.
Again, Michael Horn on the pitch out the left side. He had good pursuit there and able to knock him out of bounds and stop the clock too for Van Alstyne.
Cuthbertson and Davis on the near side, and all kinds of problems for Van Alstyne on this play as Proctor goes out for a pass, but the offensive line has not moved yet. Some of them moved, some of them didn't, and this is going to be backed up for 5 yards.
Yeah, especially in this part of the field here at your own 11-yard line. I talked about them just not looking crisp here in the second half. This is an example of that.
Gallagher in the gun, rolling out right, looking down the field, looking to throw, and it is going to be caught by Davis. And spinning out of a tackle, not enough for a first down, going to be just shy of about a yard at the 26-yard line.
A good throw there by Gallagher on the run.
You don't go for it at your own 26, do you, on a 4th and 1?
No, not at this point. I'd rely on my defense and see if they can stop Madison.
Good answer. It's only a one-touchdown game.
Right.
And Van Alstyne's going to punt this one away. Gallagher will stand at his own 12-yard line on the right hash. Back deep is Marshall, and he'll stand at his 45-yard line. Not much pressure. A low wobbly kick is going to go out of bounds off the side of the foot of Gallagher. Not a great punt, nowhere near the one he had a moment ago, but it does go back long enough. We'll see where the officials will keep walking. They love to walk on these out-of-bounds punts, and they're going to walk and walk and walk and keep walking and stop. Wow. At the 44-yard line. Just took a country stroll there, didn't he?
Talk about a break there for Madison. They got a 3 and out there. There was a penalty on the drive there for Van Alstyne, and now Madison on the bad punt there get the ball at the Panther 44-yard line.
Thibodeau in the gun. Coben Hill goes in motion, and he'll now be in a 4-receiver set to the right. Thibodeau looks that way, screen pass to the right. It's going to be caught by Coben Hill and brought down immediately by Rimpel and others. Proctor. And I believe Montsier gets off the pile. Not a big gain. And it'll be second down and 10. We'll call it no gain.
Passed out for the screen there, and good job by Rappel and Monsieur to open field tackling there to keep the run minimal. 2nd down and 10.
Coben Hill stands to the left of Thibodeau. He gets it, throwing the screen pass again, and he one-hops his receiver. And, boy, you just don't get breaks like that very often. Looking for Pelham, their big wide receiver, trying to get him some space on the far side, and he throws it incomplete as he one-hops it to him.
I've noticed that on the last couple of throws he's been throwing it, and it's been kind of low to the ground. And they've been able to get it before it hits the carpet. But that one just short hopped him up to the receiver. So 3rd and long now for Thibodeau.
Coben Hill to his right. 3rd down and 10. Thibodeau drops back 3 steps, pumps, and the ball is loose as Thibodeau went to throw it. It was stripped out of his hands and recovered by Monsieur at the 40-yard line.
Boy, Thibodeau was getting ready to wind up and just chunked that down about 50 yards, and when he went back to throw it, his hand got knocked down. The ball goes flying out about 10 yards up the field, and then Monsieur able to get on it. Talk about breaks. Van Alstyne needed one right there, and they got it.
Barnes with the strip in the backfield as he stripped it out of Thibodeau's hands as he was trying to throw it. VA with the ball at their own 39. Gallagher, hand off, up the middle, Jake Carroll, lots of room, dragging defenders across midfield, all the way to the 45-yard line, 1st down and a 15-yarder.
It's almost like the momentum has shifted with that turnover there just a second ago with is that Carroll? We said Carroll running with some attitude there on that draw at the middle and into Trojan territory.
And now they settle down for a moment and look over to the near side, and the Van Alstyne crowd hushes for a moment. There's 8:25 left to go in the game. Van Alstyne up by a touchdown, 26-18. Shotgun, Cuthbertson in motion. Gallagher wants it, gets it, handoff Carroll, left tackle, hit at the line of scrimmage, brought down right at the 45. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Just a run there by Carroll, and good penetration by the Trojans on the defensive line there to make no gain on there. And the Panthers in no hurry right now, and they don't need to be, as they've got an 8-point lead and driving.
And they are taking time off the clock. Play clock is at 18. And they're going to suck that dry. 7:44 on the game clock. And Gallagher wants it. Handoff Carroll. Left tackle, a big trap up the middle, and he's got lots of room. About a 5, maybe a 4 or 5 yard gain. That was one of those that I thought the hole was wide open at the line of scrimmage, but as our spotter Stephen Braswell tells us, it closed up pretty quickly.
And I like seeing that Carroll getting the ball, and it's just like he's running downhill there. He just got it from the pistol. He was in the pistol there in the backfield, got that, and just had that hole there to come through.
And that's a good point that Blake Burnett brought up in the pregame show. There's not much of a crown on this field.
Right.
And so the big downhill runners aren't at the huge advantage that they normally have.
Right.
And there's a timeout on the field by Van Alstyne. We'll take one, too. We'll be right back right after this.
Texoma Barn Company is a family-owned business right here in Van Alstyne. There's nothing too big or too small, for as they build barn dominiums, shops, garages, arenas, you name it. Owner David Griffin is a national commercial-grade builder with over 30 years of experience. You can visit TexomaBarnCompany.com or call them at 844-500-BARN. They're on Facebook also at Texoma Barn Company. They've completed over 200 projects in 5 years. Let yours be the next. Texoma Barn Company. VA all the way.
You're invited to the one and only Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne, Texas. Your friends and neighbors say it's the best barbecue in North Texas. Now it's your turn to decide. Come taste the difference at Buck Snort Barbecue. For complete information, including menu, location, and hours, click on bucksnortbarbecue.com. That's bucksnortbbq.com. Buck Snort Barbecue in downtown Van Alstyne is a proud supporter of the Van Alstyne Panthers.
3rd down and 6 for Van Alstyne. Left to right from our vantage point from the 41-yard line. Gallagher in the gun, sends a man in motion. Cuthbertson from left to right. And he's going to turn around. Nobody's there. Flushed out right, wanting to throw, looking down the field. Man in his face, and he heaves it deep down the field and out of bounds. 4th down and 6 coming up.
That's an interesting play there. I don't know if that was a busted play there because he kind of, or maybe just a play action to roll to his right. Looked downfield, didn't find anybody, threw it out of bounds, but that stops the clock. I'd almost would have tried to fake it to Carroll and then just see if Gallagher can get you the first down, let the best athlete on the field see what he can do with it.
There's no indication of a punt coming up. It's 4th down and 6. Scoreboard still says 3, 3rd down. But it's 4th and 6. And Van Alstyne is looking at the wristbands, and they're going to go for it here. 4th and 6. Cuthbertson leaves the backfield, goes in motion to the left. And this is Gallagher trying to do it himself up the middle, and he's going to be stopped short, I believe, at the 39-yard line. And the Dallas Madison Trojans have held and will take the ball over at their own 39.
I would have done that all on 3rd down, and maybe you could get out 3 yards, and then you would have been in a more favorable situation. But at least good thought here to try to put it in Gallagher's hand on 4th down. And Madison defense has answered the call, so now the Panther defense needs to step up.
Now this game is going to come down to the Van Alstyne Panther defense.
And a two-point conversion is going to be interesting here, too, for Madison if they were able to score.
From their own 39, Thibodeau in an empty gun. Drops back, he wants to run. Up the middle and a great play. A shoestring tackle by Hunter Griffin will stop Thibodeau from gaining big yardage. It's only a gain of maybe 1 to the 40.
Hunter Griffin, who had a key sack last week on Tyler Rodriguez, so he's used to chasing down evasive quarterbacks. Does a good job there by taking out Thibodeau.
Hunter Griffin has had probably 2 handfuls of big plays at the right time. He might have had one right there. Thibodeau throwing the screen pass out, and Pelham makes the catch. And a nice job by Proctor to spin him backwards. A gain of perhaps 3 yards, but Proctor says no more.
And almost what's so important there, too, is Proctor kept him in the field of play, didn't let him get out of bounds to stop the clock. The clock continues to run.
And there's 5 minutes and 50 ticks left to go on that clock. And Dallas Madison facing a 3rd down and 7 from their own 42-yard line.
They love going to that slant across the middle, though, where they've been able to get Pelham a few times. See if they do that here.
Thibodeau with Coben Hill standing just to his right. 1 receiver up top, 3 at the bottom. Now a man in motion. Record goes from the left to the right, now back to the right. Drops back 3-step Thibodeau right across the middle. And it's going to be incomplete. Trying to look for Marshall down the field. Proctor had a beat on it and almost had the pick. Let's talk to Blake Burnett down on the sidelines. What'd you see there?
Just a terrible thrown ball, and a free safety just couldn't make the play. And there's a flag on the play as well. Looks like it's on Van Alstyne.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a big penalty.
What a bailout for Madison.
Oh, my goodness. An automatic first down, as that'll move the ball all the way inside Van Alstyne territory at the 43-yard line. Oh, my.
I'll talk about it on this next play here.
Thibodeau in the gun. Coben Hill to his right. Twins up top. Twins down at the bottom. Coben Hill, lots of room, straight up the middle. And he's got the 30 and down at the 27-yard line. About a 13, 14-yard run by Coben Hill along the right hash.
On that pass there from Thibodeau that was intended for the receiver, he got behind the covers there, just couldn't catch it.
And quickly Madison up on the football, 1st and 10. Coben Hill again bounces it out to the right side. He's got the 30 in line of scrimmage and 1 yard and out of bounds to stop the clock at 4:58. Again, 26-18. Van Alstyne in the lead, trying to hold on. It's going to come down to the Van Alstyne Panther defense. 2nd down and 9 coming up.
Coben Hill there on that draw did a good job bouncing outside and went out of bounds again to stop the clock when he realized he didn't have anything there. He was able to get out of bounds to keep this at 4:58 right now.
Thibodeau in the gun, 2 receivers near side. Record down here at the bottom. Pelham up top. 2nd down and 10. Thibodeau wants to throw deep down the field, across the middle in the end zone. It's going to be caught for a touchdown. Marshall, about 4 yards deep on the right side of the end zone. They fooled them, and it's a 2-point game.
There must have been a breakdown in coverage because he threw it downfield on the right side, and there wasn't nobody within 10, 15 yards there of Adrian Marshall. All he had to do was be sure he caught it. And 26-24, this 2-point conversion is huge. They haven't been able to convert any of them tonight.
My, oh my, 4:53 left to go in the game, and it could come down to this. 2-point conversion. Thibodeau has record right behind him. And whistles blow before this one can get underway, and we have a timeout, I believe, on Van Alstyne. We'll take a quick one, too. We'll be right back right after this.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
Welcome back. We want to thank GCEC, who's a big sponsor tonight, able to provide the radio portion sponsorship as well on 92.1 FM KXEZ. We want to thank all the listeners over there. Also listening to howenterprise.com. And here we go, 4:53 on the clock. More importantly, though, it's 2-point conversion. Swinging gate is going to be taken up the middle, and I believe that's record. Is he in? He is. 2-point conversion, and we have a tie game. 4:53 on the clock, 26-26. Grab your socks and pull. We'll be right back right after this.
To compete at the highest level, you need reliable teammates to share the load, strong leadership, and unquestionable character. It's true in athletics, and it's true with financial services. At Independent Bank, we understand success on the field is a result of unseen hours of hard work and preparation long before the first whistle. Visit any of our branches and you'll find local bankers invested in the community, committed to building strong business partnerships and helping families reach their financial goals. Independent Bank is proud to be a part of the Van Alstyne Student Athletics. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
4:53 on the clock. Welcome back, Royce City, Texas. Monty Walker, Justin White, along with Blake Burnett, Stephen Braswell. What a finish we are looking at here, Justin White.
Wow.
You know, you put it in your defense hands, and that didn't work out. So now you get to put it in your offense's hands, and that's what Van Alstyne wants anyway. And here's the kick, going to go over Moore's head into the end zone, and he just goes 5 yards deep and takes a knee. As that one, he's had trouble fielding those kicks all night long. That one just sailed over his head. Van Alstyne will take it at the 25.
Yeah, this would be, you know, obviously they'd like to be leading right now, but to have the ball with 4:50 to go and put it in Rhett Gallagher's hand and just see if he can move this ball down the field. Nobody you'd like to have more than him is Gallagher.
One thing you got to have right here is a clean drive, no penalties, and you don't need to start out second down and long. And just when we said that, a procedure call apparently has been called against Van Alstyne. They'll back it up to the 22nd down and long.
Again,
first and long.
Aside from that long pass to Jerlin Davis, the Panthers have just looked sloppy on offense.
4:48 left to go in the game. 2 receivers to the near side.
First and 15, ball at the 20.
And in the backfield is Carroll and Proctor. And this will be Carroll up the middle, bouncing out of a tackle. He's coming near side 30. Look out, looking for a block, swung down at the 34-yard line, close to a first down. About a 14-yard run by Carroll on first down. And Van Alstyne's looking at a 2nd and 1.
Well, Carroll got that run, got a draw up the middle there and broke to the outside. Good job by him, and then a horse collar to cap it off. So tack on 15 after that 14-yard run.
That is a huge penalty. You saw one a moment ago against Van Alstyne, and now you get the same call against Dallas Madison. We'll send the Panthers near midfield at the 49-yard line. They want to talk about it. There's 4:28 on the clock, and the clock is running. Tie ball game, 26 up. First down and 10 for the Panthers of Van Alstyne. Shotgun, Gallagher, hands off, Carroll up the middle, breaks it again. He runs through the middle about as good as you can, as he has great vision to run between the tackles in about a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, he does a good job there running between the tackles, again, like kind of a downhill type of runner. Another thing to think about, Monty, too, is clock is ticking underneath 4 minutes. They have Danny Kern and they got Aaron Beckham, who can kick field goals.
And Austin Moore.
Kern had a 26-yarder earlier in the game, so that's something to think about, too, in case they are to get close enough, not enough for a touchdown. They've got a field goal kicker at their disposal.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. Van Alstyne with the play clock down to 5. Gallagher now snaps it, handoff. Carroll up the middle again. He's slung down. It was open for what appeared to be a huge hole, but it closed up quickly on him. Not enough for a first down. A yard short is Carroll at the 41-yard line in Madison territory. Third down and 1. 3:13 on the clock. It's moving. 3:10 now. 24 on the play clock. Van Alstyne ready to snap it. Man goes in motion. Cuthbertson to the right. And this is going to be a handoff to Carroll again, and he's in trouble. And they sniffed that one out immediately. They knew what they were going to do there. And matter of fact, some of the defensive linemen from Dallas Madison nearly took the handoff.
They got 8 players in the box there. They were ready for that handoff. And as soon as the running back got it, I don't know if that was Carroll or Barnes, but as soon as he got it, the Trojans were able to tackle him right away. And that's now 4th and 5, and the clock continues to tick. Madison has 2 timeouts.
The punt team has come on. Gallagher to punt this one away. Stands at his own 41-yard line. A high snap, he goes up for it, and he punts it away. It's a high kick. Fair catch called for at the 14-yard line by Marshall, and he makes it. And now all of a sudden, Madison has 86 yards to go to win this football game with 2:20 to do so.
That was just something to talk about there. There was a high snap there to Gallagher on the punt there. So, man, if that would have gone over his head, that could have been. But ball here on the 14-yard line, 2:20 to go, 2 timeouts in your back pocket. That's enough time here for this offense.
Very conservative drive for Van Alstyne, unlike what we've seen in several weeks. Here's Thibodeau in the gun. Coben Hill next to him. From their own 14, Coben Hill. Handoff up the middle is going to be wrestled down after a minimal gain.
And you got to wonder here on the draw up the middle, clock continues to tick. Does Madison go ahead and just say, we're going to keep this and we'll go into overtime? We're not giving the ball back to Van Alstyne here, or do they try to go ahead and score? I would think they try to take a couple of shots downfield.
Yeah, you would think they would look for their big receiver, Pelham, at one point. Drops back as Thibodeau looking that way, and he's going to be pressured. Now still flushes down the pocket, throws out right side. It's going to be caught and out of bounds after a pretty nice gain near midfield. A big, nice gain.
Good job there by Thibodeau to avoid pressure, roll to his right, and get it to Dorsey there downfield. Dorsey had to come back for the ball and got out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:40 to go.
So now all of a sudden Dallas Madison in the driver's seat. 1:40 left to go in the game. Clock has stopped. Ball at the 43-yard line of Madison.
Madison has just come to life here on the offensive and defensive sides of the ball here in the second half.
Thibodeau in the gun. Coben Hill to his left. Man in motion. And they're going to hand it to the near side Pelham. He's looking for room, and he cuts it up. And down at the 45-yard line, maybe 1.5, 2 yards on the play as Pelham has a hard time getting up, and now does. 1:25 on the clock.
A jet sweep around the right side there. And just trying to see if they get anything downfield. They want to try to throw downfield here, maybe to your Pelham or Record.
Madison taking a lot of time. 17 on the play clock. 1:06 on the clock. Thibodeau in the gun on 2nd down and 8. He wants to throw. Flushed out of the pocket near side. Wanting to throw. Still flush. Now he's going to run up to the 50, up to the 40, and out of bounds at the 41-yard line in Van Alstyne territory. A fresh set of downs. 54 ticks remaining to go in this game.
Good coverage down the outfield by Van Alstyne. They had 4 defensive backs standing back about 30, 40 yards there, and nobody downfield. Thibodeau able to avoid a couple of tacklers, get some yardage, and get a first down into Panther territory. Stops the clock again, and Panthers are moving.
54 ticks to go in the game. Dallas Madison at the Van Alstyne 42-yard line. 1st and 10. Going right to left from our vantage point. Thibodeau in the gun. Coben Hill to his left. Thibodeau rolls out near side, wanting to throw down the field. Now he's flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to go down after about a 2-yard gain. Stays in bounds. The clock will keep rolling as Monsier is over to make the stop. And the clock has stopped because we have a timeout on the field, perhaps. We're going to keep it right here, Justin White. Madison called another timeout. They have 1 remaining, and they have 44 seconds left to go in the game.
One thing I noticed on that last play is they're not going to give up the big play. So they're okay with Thibodeau getting these extra runs, 5, 6, 7 yards. They're trying to prevent the big play downfield for the touchdown pass. So they'll kind of play back and then just let Thibodeau get his yardage there on the quarterback run.
What you got to watch out for here is the big play. You know, the pass deep down the field in the corner of the end zone, which we saw earlier. That's going to be something that you would imagine Dallas Madison's talking about right there during that timeout.
Maybe try to find their Megatron, Pelham.
And he is split out to the right side of the field. 2 receivers near side. Thibodeau in the gun. Coben Hill stands to his right. 2 receivers to the right. Nobody past the right hash. Thibodeau rolls out towards the right hash. Now he's past it, throws it on the run. It's going to be caught and dropped. A nice play, Drellin Davis on the far side. Incomplete, 3rd down and 8 coming up.
Pass there intended for number 11 for Pelham. Good job there by Davis. We've seen him on a couple of plays come in there and do a good job of knocking balls away.
That was actually Cam Montgomery.
Rogers.
Yeah, it was Montgomery.
Montgomery's done a good job though too. Both those corners have done a good job of some pass breakups.
So Thibodeau on 3rd down and 8. 38 seconds left to go in the game. Coben Hill to his right. 3 receivers right, rolling out right. Thibodeau now flushed out of the pocket. Almost brought down by Griffin, and now he's still running for his life, coming near side, and then brought down from behind.
That was a coverage sack there by the Panthers. He was running around trying to find somebody downfield. There was nobody, and was finally all that running, he got taken down at the 47-yard line. Big loss.
Nazarko brought him down. We're going to take a quick timeout with 26 seconds. 30 seconds. We'll be right back right after this.
At Grayson Collin Electric Cooperative, GCEC, our mission is to provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. We strive to serve the members of GCEC with 3 objectives: community, education, and empowerment. We were founded over 80 years ago, and while our area has changed over the years, one thing will always remain the same. We will provide the very best possible service at the very least possible cost. GCEC, proud to support the Van Alstyne Panthers.
4th down and 15 for Dallas Madison. 26 seconds left to go in the game. 26-26. All knotted up. This is the game, perhaps. Now, Van Alstyne, if they get it back here, have all their timeouts remaining. And they're going to get it back, it looks like. Madison in punt formation will punt it. It's a wobbly high kick that's going to roll into the end zone, and Van Alstyne's going to be 80 yards away with 19 seconds left to go in the game. And it appears that in order for Van Alstyne to score on a field goal, from what we can tell, they are probably going to, they're at the 25-yard line. So they're going to have to go 75 for a touchdown, but they probably only have to get to the 25, or now moved it back to the 20. Nobody can get that right anymore. What's the rule? It's at the 20. So ball at the 20, 19 seconds on the clock. We haven't seen really Gallagher trying the arm tonight a whole lot. It's been him trying to run around the edge, and that has not been as successful as it has in the past. And now Van Alstyne apparently will call one of their 3 timeouts with 19 seconds left to go in the game. Now, we were talking about the kickers, and there's several options for the Panthers. There is Aaron Beckham, but we haven't seen Beckham tonight.
No.
We've seen Kerr, we've seen Danny Kern, and we know Austin Moore can kick. But you know, Beckham is the one that they, at least from what we've seen, is the bigger leg of the 3. And we've seen him hit somewhere around 37, I believe, maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago against Howe.
Yeah. And Kern hit a 26-yarder earlier, but I would almost think that they would try to just have a couple of runs here by Carroll, maybe one by Gallagher, see if he can break one open, and just try your luck in overtime. Well, because surely Madison's going to play back here and prevent a big play.
It appears to be victory formation, which means overtime, and that's what we are going to do.
Wow.
You know, I have done 25 years of high school football, and this is my first overtime game to ever do.
Really? Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Regular season and playoffs?
Ever.
Wow.
This is it.
All right.
So that's the end of the game, and we are going to extra innings, so to speak.
Let's do it.
Man alive, what a game. 26-26. Last week we had fun. What a game that was. Hey, we got more time on the clock.
Yeah, I was thinking that, 2 weeks in a row we've had great games. One was a high scoring, and then this one right here is just a good barn burner right here. Who would have thought 19-6 at halftime that we would be sitting here at the end of the regulation?
Now we're on radio, so we need to do station identification here in a moment. And I tell you what, KXEZ 92.1, we thank those guys over there, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's take 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Texas High School Football and Grayson Publishing, LLC. Well, we are headed to overtime, Royce City, Texas. Hey, I drove this morning all the way from basically Austin. This has been a very long day. It's exactly what I needed. And so, this game is perhaps also brought to you by the Rockwall Police Department, who happened to...
Did you meet with them earlier today?
I had a meeting, unfortunately.
Do you have a court date set for later?
I was headed to get a haircut and had no idea about Rockwall and their city and how it's mapped out, and I took a right turn, right into a school zone, and apparently I was perhaps going maybe a couple of miles an hour over the limit, so that was going to be a fun one. That's how this day has gone, so it's now extra innings.
We'll go on defense first.
So overtime rules, each team will get possession without a game clock, starting at the 25-yard line.
It's going to be first and 10 for the
and it'll be repeated until there's a winner. A team that starts on offense in the first overtime will start on defense the next overtime period, if necessary. Dallas Madison will start on offense here at the Van Alstyne 25-yard line. Record goes in motion, and they give it to him, going from left to right, all the way around from one edge to the other, and he's going to gain 3 yards to the 22-yard line.
Jet sweep there to Record, and again, they're working those outside edges here, and I think that's most advantageous for Madison is work the edges, use that team speed that they have.
Second down.
Ball at the 22.
Second down and 7.
We are in OT, as I will make that. Here's a screen pass out to the right side. It's going to be caught. Not enough for a first down, as the receiver Marshall is brought down 2 yards shy of the first down marker.
Cam Montgomery there was playing off of Marshall by about 7 or 8 yards, so Marshall caught the ball. They had a lot of green ahead of him to run, and good job there by Montgomery to take him down.
3rd down and 2. Thibodeau in the gun. Coben Hill right next to him, and he gets the carry left to right, right over the middle. That 1st down and more to the 10, to the 5, spinning out of tackles to the 4-yard line.
I tell you, Coben Hill here in the second half is again revived this running game here with these draws in the middle, tough running there. He spun, he kept turning his legs, and we got an injured player here for Madison.
It's a Madison player on the very far side. And is that Thibodeau? No, it's not Thibodeau. It's Coben Hill?
Yes. Yeah, Coben Hill has revived this running game here for the Trojans in the second half, and they've had to respect the run with him and just giving them another threat.
He has had so many carries that his calves are cramping up, and it's November. So he has to sit out for at least one play.
Well, the good news for Trojans, they got a 1st down out of that, so they're 1st and goal at the 5.
So with that in mind, Thibodeau stretches out his calves a little bit. Record will be in the backfield with Kenny next to him, and Thibodeau looks like he's going under center for one of the few times tonight. Kenny and Record in the backfield. Thibodeau toss right side. Record looking for a block. Escapes the tackle of Proctor, but he can't escape the tackle of Cam Montgomery, and he's brought down at the 9-yard line.
Good job there by Montgomery. Proctor slowed him down, and that was good there by Proctor to slow him down there, and Montgomery able to finish him off because he was going around that edge trying to turn that corner, and the Panthers were able to kind of storm tackle him after that.
Well, they'll give him forward progress, so it's at the 5-yard line. So it's 2nd down and 5. 2 receivers to the near side and 2 to the far. Coben Hill back into the game. Handoff up the middle, fighting for yardage near the goal line. Got perhaps to the 1 and pushed back. Then I think they'll spot him at the 2, and they will. The ball at the 2-yard line.
Okay, interesting call here. It's going to be 3rd down. If you don't get this right here, we haven't seen a field goal kicker at all for the Trojans, so this may be 4-down territory for them, even if they are at point-blank range.
Thibodeau with 2 receivers up top. Coben Hill right next to him, and he'll get the carry up the middle, and a great play by Barnes. Knocks him back right at the goal line. As soon as he got the handoff, Barnes was in his jaw.
It's like the defensive line just whipped the offensive line for the Trojans. Were in the backfield there before the running back could get going there, and drops him back another 4 or 5 yards. So,
my goodness, I'm waiting for the officials to draw the chalk line around Coben Hill right there at the 5-yard line.
And I thought he dropped him back farther than the 5.
It'll be 4th and goal from the 5. No field goal. They are going for it. Man in motion. Marshall from right to left. Thibodeau wants it from the gun. Looking right side. Flushed down the pocket. Now he's going to run. Now he's in trouble. Slips down. Throws it up in the end zone. It's going to be caught. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
A prayer was thrown into the end zone as Thibodeau was under pressure. He just heaved it. The receiver made the play on the ball. Touchdown, Madison. Unbelievable.
I tell you what, Thibodeau did a circle. I mean, it was like he threw in the grass there. It's like he was going down and just threw the ball up, saw a white jersey out of the corner of his eye, and the receiver, Coben Hill, was able to come back and get it. Touchdown, Madison. And this Van Alstyne sideline is shocked.
I'm shocked. And now the 2-point conversion, and Thibodeau in the gun. Throwing it. Now he wants whistles before this one can get underway. It's a false start against Madison. So back it up, and the 2-point conversion now will be backed up to the 7-yard line.
I mean, just the athleticism there of Thibodeau to sit there in that pocket, run around. He almost was down. His knee almost went down at one point.
He had to balance himself on his left hand as he was about to go down. Somehow kept himself off the ground, looked up, just heaved it in the end zone. Coben Hill saw it, had to make a mad dash to the football, made that great catch in the end zone, and all 11 Madison white jerseys swarmed him in that far corner of the end zone.
I mean, that was just, man, that was actually fun to watch, really.
So now Van Alstyne will have a chance. Madison has called a timeout, and a two-point conversion is coming up, but not after a 5-yard walk-off, so back at the 7.
Yeah, so they're got the work cut out for them here. Ball's actually at the 8-yard line. So see what Coach Gates has up his sleeve here for a two-point conversion.
Boy, what an outstanding play by Thibodeau. That's one for the ages right there. He's in the gun. Coben Hill to his right. 3 receivers down here at the bottom. 1 up top is Pelham. Looking that way to Pelham. Now throws a screen pass out to Coben Hill. That's record, actually. And he's brought down a great play on the far edge to save the two-point conversion. And that is none other than Austin Moore. So Van Alstyne will have a chance to tie and go for the win with a two-point conversion or the PAT.
Well, and they've been able to kick the extra point here pretty good. So this Madison defense, who has done a good job themselves of slowing down Van Alstyne here in the second half, they've only allowed, 13 points in the second half? And so this is not a give-me drive by any means for the Panthers.
So here we go. It's in the hands of the Van Alstyne offense, and that's where you want it. Ball at the 25 in overtime, trying to answer right back, 32-26. Madison with their first lead of the night. 1st and 10. Gallagher all alone, empty backfield. Carroll goes in motion. They fake it to him, and now Gallagher's in trouble and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. The defensive edge has been amazing in containing Gallagher around the edge.
Cabron Fox there, number 9, he was not having any of it. They knew that was coming to Gallagher, and it's kind of like we refuse to let Rhett Gallagher beat us. Jake Carroll may, Draylon Davis may, Justin Barnes may, but Rhett Gallagher, we're going to do everything we can to not let his legs beat us.
Loss of 6. Ball at the 31-yard line. Pistol formation. Gallagher flushed out of the pocket, running for his life near the 50-yard line and has to heave it out of bounds. Incomplete. 3rd down and 16 coming up.
Yeah, there was heavy heat there on Gallagher, and he was having to run for his life. And it wasn't like he was rolling out just trying to find somebody downfield. I mean, he was, but he was really having to outrun the defender there and just kind of get rid of it. So 3rd down and 16 after that loss, and so they're really here behind the 8 ball.
Pistol formation. 3 receivers on the right side of the offense, and Gallagher steps back, throws a deep ball, looking for the touchdown in the end zone, looking for a flag and gets one. Porter was near the end zone at the 2-yard line, and there's some scuffling going on, and Porter's going to draw the penalty.
Yeah, there was some hand checking there, and I guess that was a penalty. I mean, there was some push and shove, and he probably did deter Porter from getting to the ball there, but
I'm going to say that was
pass
penalty. Yeah, I think that was a clear foul, and that's a breath of fresh air for the Van Alstyne Panthers, as they will have a fresh set of downs now from the 16-yard line. Carroll goes in motion out of the backfield to the left side. Gallagher wanting to run, looking for somewhere to throw it down the end zone for Carroll, and it's incomplete. 9 yards deep in the end zone, just over his hands. I'm not sure if he could have pulled that one in. If he could have, it would have been one of the most miraculous catches ever. But there was an opportunity.
He got that, and it looked like he was going to run it, and then stop, and then threw it downfield there to Carroll, back of the end zone, just over the outstretched hands of Jake Carroll. And I really thought that was going to be a design run for Rhett Gallagher.
Well, they were trying to dupe the cornerback on the near side and make it look like a run, and then he just popped up and threw it. 2nd down and 10. Gallagher trying to run around the right edge, and he lowers his shoulder, runs behind his shoulder pads for about 4 yards to somewhere around the 13-yard line.
So this will bring up a 3rd down. And you going back that pass interference, what a bailout there for the for the Panthers that were facing 3rd and 16. And that pass interference gave them a fresh set of downs, and now they find themselves at 3rd and 7 now.
2 big plays coming up for Van Alstyne. Again, we are in overtime. Madison just took their first lead of the night in overtime. Pistol formation. Gallagher has it. Looking to throw, setting up the screen. Right side has his man. Going to be caught and maybe a few yards to the 10-yard line. That'll bring up a 4th and a long 3.5. 4th and 4.
Good open field tackle there on that screenplay too.
Is this
Carroll.
it? Is this it? It comes down to 4 yards.
And they're going quickly to the line.
In the pistol, Gallagher, and now they'll stop and they'll look over to the sideline. They were trying to draw the Madison Trojans off sides and get a cheap little first down right there. It didn't happen. And now Gallagher gets it. He's going to run out right side, looking to throw in the end zone, and it's incomplete! It was in his hands, and it's incomplete, and Madison has won, and they celebrate on the far side. It was intended for Austin Moore, but it was just out of his outstretched arms on the out-of-bounds side, and it falls incomplete, and Proctor falls to his knees, and his helmet is touching the ground. Players are on their knees. White jerseys are going nuts on the far side. And it's a shame that there's only 20 fans on the far side to see this great game. The Van Alstyne fans are disappointed, but their Panthers have had one heck of a year, but a strange way to end it tonight.
He got it to Moore, rolled up the right side, and Moore was open. It hit him in the hands, and he just dropped it. It was a touchdown.
Boy, you hate to see that for any young man.
And, I mean, what a comeback by Madison. And what disappointment by Van Alstyne.
Well, they'll shake hands. They're at center court, if you will, headed towards each other. The men in blue and the men in white.
I like the play call. It just wasn't.
It wasn't meant to be.
No. And Van Alstyne had high hopes of going. They talked about that 11 plus. Going into the playoffs with 11 wins. We're going to the 11th week there in the playoffs, and it's going to end tonight.
Well, what a game it was. It didn't end up on the happy side for the Van Alstyne Panthers, but what a game it was. It was a strange game. The first.
It was a tale of two halves.
It really was.
That's especially for both teams, really. Van Alstyne had a chance to put it away there in the second half. They led 19-6, had the ball in the second half, and they just didn't look crisp coming out of the locker room there. And they let Madison stay in the game, and Madison took advantage of it. And the offense really started to get going there. And the defense started to play with their hair on fire there for Madison. And just it was just a different team for the Trojans, for both teams when they came out in the second half.
It may be one of these where we talk to Coach Michael Miller of Van Alstyne and tell our sideline guy, Blake Burnett, down there to just say a tale of two halves and let him go. And that may be the way we approach this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Blake, are you up to that?
Is he on?
Blake, there you go. Are you on? Yeah.
Yeah, the play that Madison scored, I'm just speechless over that play still.
Boy, they are really jumping up and down on that far side. And I tell you what, they hung in there. They made some changes. They put it in the hands of their quarterback, and they put it in the hands of Coben Hill, who really helped them out tremendously tonight, so much that he had to leave for a play with cramps. But, boy, Thibodeau, you have to tip your hat to head coach Marcus Gates from Dallas Madison. What an outstanding football team he has. And I tell you what, it's fun to see a hometown boy do that in his hometown. He's a Dallas Madison graduate, and to do that, this is probably one of the most fun nights that he's had.
Yeah, fun nights he's had. We had a pretty good night calling it. It was that was just a great win for Madison. They'll play, I believe it's Mount Vernon in the second round, from what I understand. And so But this is going to sting a while for Van Alstyne.
Yeah, we'll see if Blake Burnett is able to grab Coach Michael Miller, if he wants to talk at all after the school song, of which they're doing right now. Again, 32-26. Madison comes back to win tonight, as at one point, Van Alstyne was up 19-6 with 13 seconds left to go in the first half, and then went up 26-12 at one point with 3:28 left to go in the third. So a fourth quarter comeback and an overtime comeback for Dallas Madison. And whenever Blake Burnett is able to pop on there, we'll see if he can capture Coach Miller. And I think he may have him in his scopes. And when he does, we'll pop on down there. Whenever you get him, Blake, just go ahead.
You want to say anything, Coach? He doesn't want to say anything.
I would imagine. It's a tough loss tonight. A lot of respect for Coach Miller and the Van Alstyne Panthers and their outstanding coaching staff. They've had a great season, but a tough loss tonight. And it's been the theme, I guess, Sunnyvale, and now Dallas Madison. And you just hate to see that for the Panthers and their fan base, because they've been so good for so long that, one of these days they're going to break past that first round. And everybody kind of felt like this was going to be the year, especially coming out of that district, scoring as many points as they had. But what we've seen now is District 6 is for real, as Eustis knocked off Bonham last night in pretty good fashion. And Pottsboro, we're trying to check the score on that and see where we are with Pottsboro.
I'll find out here in a second.
So District 6 has been a surprise to some, maybe not a surprise to others, but District 5.
It's the final. Malakoff defeated Pottsboro 63-35.
So a sweep
of District 5 has been.
So District 5 has been swept by District 6.
Correct.
My, oh my. Well, we're going to probably sign off here on this one, and it's been a wonderful night. Great game. It's didn't end the way all of the Van Alstyne Panthers wanted it to. I want to thank KXEZ 92.1 FM for allowing us to be on their airwaves. It's been a really fun game. HowEnterprise.com. You can catch this replay on HowEnterprise.com and also on YouTube here momentarily. It'll recap and it'll be available in just a few moments. For everyone who's been a part of this one, including our spotter, Stephen Braswell, our sideline announcer for our first time ever, Blake Burnett.
Great job, Blake.
Yeah, absolutely. And color analyst Justin White. I am Monty Walker, and we will see you sometime soon. I'm not sure when our next game is, but we'll see you. For everyone who's been a part of this one, we will see you again. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Texas High School Playoff Football.
Great play fake, and he could go. He's got speed. Kiss him goodbye. 20.
This
15,
week's game is brought to you by Bucksnort Barbecue, Independent Bank, Scoggins Funeral Home, Adams Automotive, GCEC, Attorney Micah Belden, Texoma Barn Company, and Lone Star Food Store.
This has been a presentation of Grayson Publishing.